Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. Check-in 12, take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2 point start, take your shot.
Office still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Anyone else close with this rest let me know.
Remember that supervisor and rest attached.
Good morning, good afternoon. Hopefully, y'all had a safe and happy 4th of July. Safe, number one, because man, whoa, where's my camera? There we go. Number one, I saw the accidents at the stadiums, local areas. Oh my gosh. Even a car, somebody was lighting fireworks off in their vehicle. And then all of a sudden it went haywire inside, and then the whole car became engulfed in flames. It's like, come on, people. Please be safe. Yikes. So we went ahead and moved last night's show to this morning. I didn't want to interfere with anything. I figured we'll just go ahead and give everybody a night. And this was not claimed last night, so we'll be giving that in today's show. And then we're going to get ready to head back out. We got a lot more work to do. Good morning, Fly Girl. Thank you for calling in yesterday. Appreciate it. Charity. What's up, Cherry? Thank you. Hopefully you did too. TJ. Fly Girl is number 18. What's up, Are You Into J? It's not Run to J. It's Are You Into J. That's what it is. What's up, buddy? Justice for Micah. I hear like an echo or something. Do you guys hear an echo? What's up, Ruck? Ticket 20. Busby Deuces 22. What's up with you, man? Under the Mystic Moon. What's the numbers about? The ticket number is your like number in the show. So if you know your like number, that's your ticket number. It's like when you walk into the DMV. And then I'm right behind the counter. I'm here to help. Ticket 26. Come on up. What's up, Patricia? What's up? Appreciate you. What's up, JD 27? Aaron 25. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. This technology stuff is secondary, you know? Go make them memories with the families first, then come hang out with CJ. Oh my gosh, Patricia. Pittsburgh, huh? What's up, Jennifer, number 31? Right? It's tilted a little too much. It seems to be getting worse, right? Like the misinfo sheep out there, it's like more and more run into rocks. It's like, wow, we're supposed to be progressing, not regressing, right? And there's just so many more of them that are just like, huh? Oh, whoops. Oh, well, they said to go that way. I didn't think I'd check for myself. They just told me to go that way. What's up, Libby? TJ's 34. They just told me to go that way. I didn't know I had to check for myself. Did it really? Good. You never know with YouTube. Oh, thank you. It's one of my favorite colors, too. I love the bright blues. Oh, Jennifer Powell, hold on one second. Let me get that screen up, and then I got my YouTube chat, so I can actually go back and see. Oh, no. Is that a fox or a kitty? I think that's a fox. That's a fox. That's got to be a fox, right? Little hearts flying all over the screen. Is that a fox or a kitty? I wish this is one thing, and I did a survey with StreamYard yesterday, and I might be able to sit down and talk with them here. I got to wait and find out. But I did one of those surveys yesterday, and I I'll let them know we need dark mode. We need dark mode, and I want to talk to him about when there's like a super sticker right here, right? Come on, StreamYard. Let's get the animation from come on, YouTube, StreamYard, somehow figure it out. Let's get the animation from the super sticker. Let's get it up on the display screen, right? Two things. Dark mode saves battery life, and you can actually see the words, when you're out in the sun, right? And then get some animations on the screen for people's support. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. I better check my email. Thank you. Amy ticket 38. Number 16. Yep, that's what it is. Actually, I think there is let me see if there's a command that does it. Let's see. I just type in exclamation point ticket. We'll see. What's up, Kathy 43? Mark and Betty. What's up? 45. And Anti-Venom. Cool icon photo. I don't know. Oh my gosh, my YouTube chat froze again. Ugh. What is it with YouTube? Hold on one second. It did this yesterday. It froze while I was in the intro. What's up, sassy Southern Law nerd? Oh, look at that. Ticket 46. Yes, please. Please, please. I know, isn't it crazy, Busby? And another thing that's crazy, we covered one of them yesterday. Another thing that's crazy is, man, especially Hendersonville, right? What the hell's up with all... If you've been paying attention, I don't want to be graphic as hell, you know what I mean? But I'll just say there's a lot of people showing up that aren't here anymore. That's a good way to put it. A lot of people that are showing up that aren't here anymore. What the hell, man? What's going on in Tennessee, y'all? The hot dog flavored water. Oh, thank you, Fly Girl. I appreciate that. We'll have the phone lines open here in a little bit. Yes, it does work. Exclamation point ticket. There you go. Yeah, YouTube's acting buggy, so I even had to back out, close out, come back in order for it to refresh. So if you guys ever experience anything at all today, it already did it to me, and if it's doing it to me, it's probably gonna do it to you. Yeah, I did get those, TJ. I sent you a message. What's up, Sabrina? Yeah, I did get those. Let me see here. Oh wait, there is some. Let me see here. I think that's something. Let me see. Do me a favor, send me the creator. Is that a TikTok video? What is that? All right, let me share these real quick, as we always do when we get into the show. So we're going to be going through some of these TikTok videos that the angels sent me. We'll be going through those. There's, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. Another picture that was put up from the family, so we're going to share that. Just, the justice for Micah signs and the awareness and, and just what everybody's doing. So, like I said, I'll always show these in the beginning of each episode that we cover. So you can always, if you do miss these, or if you're not able to scan the QR codes, you can always go back to the beginning and pause them, take screenshots, share them with your friends. That's the best way. Take a screenshot, share it with your friends, and then they can share it with other people with the screenshot. So that awareness can go, just crazy. And again, this wasn't claimed by last night, so we'll be giving this away in today's show. And I would encourage anybody that does get this window decal. It says, "Her fight is my fight." Hashtag justice for Micah, and it's got purple boxing gloves and a purple ribbon. I'd suggest anybody, if you are available to do so, put it on your back window. So when people are at a stoplight and they're sitting behind your vehicle, or they're on the road and the passengers, looking off and going, "Oh gosh, I wonder what this is," just the amount of searchability that could happen if you have this on your back window would be amazing. Not that you have to, not that it's a requirement. I'm just asking if it is available. I think that could really, really spread this message to a lot of people. A lot of people. And I'm going to get one on my vehicle too. So I just have to wait until we can go to the next protest. Hopefully she has some made. But if not this protest, by the next protest, we should. We should. And I'm going to get 5 more to give away to you guys. That way you guys can, whoever does get them, if you put them on the back window. Yeah, it was crazy last night. There was so many fireworks, and it literally went. I was sitting there going, I didn't even know people could afford this many fireworks. It was nuts. I don't get it, Ruck. It's, you know what I mean? It's freaking YouTube, man. It's like you can hear it from all the creators too. Like so many subs a day are just. I don't know what YouTube does. I don't know what is going on. What's up, Tiffany? Hopefully you're safe with that hurricane coming through. Man, you've been hit so many times, Tiffany. Prayers to you and your community. You've been hit so many times with this nasty weather this year. Prayers to you. What's up, Rita? Miss Cosmo, happy Friday. What's up, Captain? I know, I was like, when I first started my show, that was my idea was a bumper sticker. I was like, I need a bumper sticker at Evil CJ, just at Evil CJ. Because in my mind, I'm like, shoot, same thing. People are at a stoplight. Well, I mean, it's curiosity. You know what I'm saying? Curiosity. So somebody's sitting there, they're going to be like, oh, I wonder what this is, right? Same thing with this. It's why I even suggested with the decal stuff. Trust me, I would love to have a little sticker about it, and it doesn't even have to be very big. At Evil CJ. That's it. That's it. We'll see though. There's more important things. What's up, Trish? Thank you. Ticket 49. Appreciate the kind words. What's up, Sarah? How are you, Bev? Oh man, I bet. Like, that's the one thing I was like, there was no way I would have been able to do a show because it was like popcorn. I mean, unless you guys would have loved to hear popcorn going off the whole night, I just hung out at the lounge for a little bit, and just kicked it on there, on a live for a little bit, just hanging out. By the way, sometimes I'm not live here. I'll be live at the lounge, just hanging out, playing stuff or watching shows or something, just hanging out without having to always be so serious, Oh, contribution call out. Hold on one second. Thank you so much. gifted membership, Ruck. Let me scroll up and see who got that. Kathy D was gifted the membership. Thank you so much. I was talking the last show. I was talking about how I was going to go through, like, I was going to have a show coming up on this trip one of these days, where I was going to, like, I have so much freaking footage from all of this stuff, and I'm so busy with the drives and, the conversations in the background and the meetings and the stuff. And it's like, man, I don't even have time to upload all of these videos, and I've collected them from the beginning. And so last show I was talking about how I was gonna like go through all the freaking footage. And so I'm thinking about maybe doing where it's like a members only. I don't know, it might be a long show, maybe 4 or 5 hours or something, but where I literally go from everything from the very first thing to the very last thing. You guys get to see everything. Even if I don't upload it, you'll get to see it. And then I'll do uploads after that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I thought about doing that just one day. And then here's this new picture. Shout out to the family here. Hold on one second. Let me blow that up. Get it bigger. Let that picture shine. Justice for Micah. #family. Oh, thank you, Vivian. Appreciate you. Be safe. Be safe. Oh, I do have a library, Tiffany. You should see. You want to see? Hold on. I'll show you. This is just photos. This isn't even footage, the documents, like everything is it's separated by cases, trust me. This is a case file here. Like there's trust me, I have a library. It's even separated by dates, what kind of footage, whether it's the phone, GoPro, Sony camera, like it's all libraried up. The thing is, is it's all libraried up, like to go through it all. That's the thing. That's where I haven't been able to like sit down and actually go through. I'm just so we know. No, be safe today. Be safe today. Happy Friday. Again, we're going to share this website as well, justiceformica.com. Like I said, if you missed any of the QR codes, we do show them in the beginning of the show. So if you need to, you can pause it at any time, go back to the beginning, and share them with your friends too. By the way, also, if you're just joining, YouTube has been very buggy from the get-go again today. So, trust me, I have a no, I don't have a 60 terabyte. I have a 5 terabyte. I have a 5 terabyte. And it's, let me see how full it is. It's got to be like 3/4. Let me check. And I don't even have everything on that either. I got 2 terabytes free. So we still got room. 97. Jeez. Yeah, it's been buggy. It sucks, man. I don't understand it. I don't know. They come out to these new things and they don't fix these old things. So, all right. Now we're going to check out some TikTok videos. I'm going to share the links with you guys. Now, this is one talking about, these are from the Angels. Thank you for sending these. And here's the first one. This is from you know who. Oh, I'm unblocked. I'm unblocked. Whoa, that's crazy. So this is someone cooking the books over at Robeson County Sheriff's Office, volunteer doctors performing autopsies. Now you got this inflatable finger going like this. The North Carolina Medical Examiner System is a network of medical doctors and allied health professionals throughout North Carolina who voluntarily devote their time, energy, and if it would take it away, I could read the rest. It doesn't take it away. But it discusses that there were 160 self-unalivings. Holy crap, look at that statistic. Manner of death in Robeson County. Holy crap. Can you guys see this? All right, hold on. I wish I could zoom it in. Hold on, let me see. Can I? Okay, right here it says undetermined 2%, lethal injection 1%, unintentional firearm 2%, homicide, I think it says 60 something percent, and then self-unaliving 30%. 33.2% is self-unaliving. Homicide is 62.9. And everything else is 2 or 1. Whoa. You know, when I went there and I told you guys about the conversations I was having with some of the people there, and they were stressing hardcore, like, you don't understand what county you're in, man. Especially if you're not from here. What? So there's that link for you guys. Yikes. Okay, here's this one. This one is Dad checking in 1. I don't know who that is, but here's the link to it. We're gonna check it out. Let me see here. I never heard of this guy before. All right, let's see what he says. This was sent from the Angels as well.
Okay, so Micah Miller yesterday gave a review. Who did she review? Susie Skinner.
What?
Wow, that's crazy. And she reviewed her a 5-star and put in this address. So let's see what address this is. Let's put it in Google Maps. Let's see where it comes to. Myrtle Beach. Okay, it's not at the beach, but what is that? It's probably like a apartments or something like that. These guys keep dropping clues. I don't know what they're doing, but they gave she gave her a 5-star review, even though she's dead. So
what?
I don't know. Let's see what this place is. Let me look.
What?
Oh, that's where JP's new church is going to be. Oh, so that's the land where the new Solid Rock Church is going to be. I wonder if there's something there. Because we've seen the police there a couple of weeks ago.
Huh? What's the address there, buddy?
Now, Micah is giving it a 5-star review.
Hold on, what? What's this address?
Okay, so Micah Miller yesterday gave a review. Who did she review? Susie Skinner. Wow, that's crazy. And she reviewed her a 5-star and put in this address. So let's see what address this is. Let's put it in Google Maps. Let's see where it goes.
Wait, 220 or 2200? What? Hold on a minute. This says 2200. You see the address, right? Okay, this is where I'm confused. What the hell's going on here? Look at the address, people. In the beginning, 2200 Crow Lane. Hold on. 2200 Crow Lane.
Okay, so Micah Miller yesterday gave a review. Who did she review?
It still says 2200 Crow Lane.
Susie Skinner. Wow, that's crazy. And
he forgot to put a 2.
Reviewed her a 5-star and put in this address. So let's see what address this is.
He put in 2. He forgot to put in the 2, people.
Let's put it in Google Maps. Let's see where it comes to. Myrtle Beach. Okay.
No.
Not at the beach, but
hold on. See? No. 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 This address right here, it doesn't mean nothing. The dude he forgot to put in another 2. What's up, Yoli? Just be under the mystic. Just be careful about people that claim to know shit. Because I'm just going to... Some people are just giving you a smoke screen, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Just be careful about people who claim to know more shit than... Trust me. Look at their own closet. You know what I mean? You'll see what I'm saying. Just go look at their closet, and some of these people have big platforms, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, they care so much and they want truth and justice to happen, like so much that sometimes their emotions, and it's, you know, we're made from emotion. We're made from emotion, so it's no fault of anybody. But, you know, how do I put it? They know that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people with intentions for personal gain instead of community gain, if that's a good way to put it. So they use tactics and tricks to get the oohs and the ahs. You know what I mean? So just be careful. But yeah, this address right here, this means nothing because dude forgot to put in a 2. All right, so the next video here, this is True Crime with Megan. Now this looks like JP about to do a sermon or something. So no. It's not okay. It's not about okay. There's different Crow lanes. See the address right here? 2200 Crow Lane, Suite 201. That's Susie Skinner's home. Okay. When you're typing in, this is...
Okay, so Micah Miller.
When you're typing in... See all the different crow lanes? Myrtle Beach, there's a crow lane, crow field. 220. It's not the right one. It's the same zip code, but it's not the right area. So the 2200 Crow Lane Suite 201 does not match what dude typed in. All right, this one, let's see what this one is here.
Y'all, yes, that is John Paul Miller lying on the floor on the stage of his church. I'm about to show you a video of a little demonstration that he did, and it was extremely distasteful, especially after his paramour's husband, Chris Skinner, passed away from falling into a pool while he...
Wow, Sandy, how rude of you to tell me what to do with my own show. There's plenty other YouTube shows out there, so if this show doesn't move at a quick enough pace for you, there's plenty of other shows out there on YouTube that will. And we don't deal with that kind of negative attitude here, so go ahead and go find one right now. I'll help you. Thank you.
While he was in his wheelchair because he was paraplegic after an accident. And as you know, John Paul preached at his funeral. And this was weeks or months after allegedly Chris approached him, Chris Skinner, about having an affair with his wife, Susie Skinner. Now, yeah, JP was trying to make this biblical and trying to make this all funny and cute and all, but it wasn't very kosher in my opinion. I'm going to continue to do deep dives into this man's sermons to expose all of his twisted jokes and lies. Watch this, guys.
I figured the guy, I don't have a pool to fall in, but like the least he can do if he's like this, right? If he's just laying there, all you got to do is this. That's it. And he couldn't even do that. Remind me not to do that next service. I'm getting too old. And now I got vertigo. Okay, anyway, so.
What is so... Hold on.
Do is this. If he's like this,
Twisted jokes.
Well,
he's trying to be funny, but what's...
And lies. Watch this, guys.
I figured the guy, but like the least he can do if he's like this, right? If he's just laying there, all you got to do is this. That's it. And he couldn't even do that. Remind me not to do that next service. I'm getting too old. And now I got vertigo. Okay, anyway.
All right. This next video here, this is one of the protesters that shows up, him and his wife, Millie Jo. We showed some of her videos. This is her husband here, so we're gonna watch a couple of these here.
Hey guys, Red Rob here. I just want to give you a little bit of perspective because a lot of you weren't there, and a lot of people are asking us questions, basically on the protest today at Solid Rock. So I'm going to start with this. Early on in the day, JP came out to the protesters, kind of, waddling through them, and then came directly face to face with the leader of the protest, who happens to be a young woman, and basically goes on to ask her to come into the church with him, basically trying to lure her into the church with him.
Yeah.
Now that's Allie Golden. You can go and watch her video.
Yeah, we talked about it actually during the live stream. Allie asked, she's like, hey, if we're gonna talk to this guy, will you record it? I was like, just let me know, because I don't know, I was like telling everybody, like, do not go inside that building. Do not go inside that building. Do not. Yeah, you working today, Yoli? You're always working when I'm doing shows. His sermon is just hard to believe. It's hard to believe people are still going. That's why I said, the last show, like, the people, like, come on, man. If you ain't woke up by now, like, and then you're coming out spraying people. Just saying, like, we're gonna get it. I told you we were gonna get into it last night. We moved that show from last night to today. We're gonna be getting into the sprinkler stuff here as we get into the show. The right thing's happening. It's supposed to happen. It is happening, and that guy, he has 5 rings out. You know, he's that's, you just don't do it. You know what I mean? We're not crossing any boundaries. You know, in the video part 1 and 2 of me and Jay talking, you know, it's all been peaceful. We've respected, you know, all requests, legally, or even requests that might not be legal, but we're still abiding, you know. So it's just the narrative that's being put out there too, you know, about saying we're like scaring people. Just, you know, if that article read that I did a few videos ago, about how people are scaring people and they're dressed up like with masks and they're scaring people and they can't pray, and what's up, Heidi, and they, you know, all this other stuff, and we're vicious pagans and we're demons, and it's like, what the hell, man? Come on. But yeah, he was trying. He went up. It was like I was saying, I was coming around. I was on the right side of the church. I was coming around. Hell, I kind of want to go recheck out that last protest today too, just little bits of it, because I was walking around and that's when she was like, yo, he straight came up to me like a foot or 2 away, and he was like, Allie, can we talk inside? Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. We can sit outside in the shade, you know. We can sit outside in the shade. We could have a conversation outside in the shade. When you go inside that building, you don't, with the way things get twisted. Listen, I'm sure with the way things that get twisted as soon as you go in that building, can you imagine what would be twisted? They'd be saying Allie was threatening this and that and this and that, and then what happens? Next thing you know, somebody's getting charged with assault that really didn't assault somebody, right? I'm telling you, have it out in the lawn where there's multiple people around. You know what I mean? Where there's multiple people around that know exactly what's being said, talked about, whatever, you know. Do it out in the lawn, man. You were able to come out to the sidewalk a few times and show off your tattoo and all that other stuff, man. You know what I mean? That was the first time. Not only was the first time he was comfortable parking up front, because usually he would be coming in, skeeting in through the side door, skeeting out the side door, you know, little tactics to distract and all this other stuff. This time he came and parked in a pregnant woman's spot, because it was a sign that said for infant mothers of infants, or people like grandparents that had an infant. It was a parking spot for infants. Dude straight pulled up, parked there, came out, kept hitting his truck alarm going off like crazy, even though you weren't supposed to honk. Whatever. Small potatoes. But you were comfortable to come out there and chit chat. Why not hang out in the frickin' shade? You know? How about this, JP? You got that fence in the back, right? That metal fence that goes around the church in the back. Do this. Meet us all over there after the service is over. Meet us all over there. You stand behind the fence. We'll stand on the other side of the fence. There we go. And then there can be a conversation. There's a barrier in between. I mean, it'd be easy peasy. Yes, don't go in that building.
Her video on TikTok. Secondly, he wastes no time getting in the face of the protesters, getting as close to some of these females bodily as he can. And then he goes on to get the sprinklers and make sure the sprinklers are pointed at all the protesters. Now, listen, I totally get it. Oh, water. How's water going to hurt? It's not about water hurting anybody. It's not about, oh, you assaulted us with water. I wasn't even one of the ones that got directly sprayed. I was standing a few people back. But when this elder came out of the church, picked it up and began to spray all the women with water.
Yeah, I made a video about this. Hold on. Let me share it with you real quick. Because you'll actually, with my video, you actually get like the footage with it. Let me see. Here's just the video of it. We might as well play it. Why not? Here you go. Here's the video of it. And it's the raw video upload, so I'll drop the link and you can have the video of the raw upload.
No people, no church. 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 Just little babies. No people, no church. No people, no church. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. This is he's splitting us. His mother over here.
See, that's JP setting his truck alarm off over and over and over, making it act like the protesters' voices were setting his truck alarm off, but it wasn't, because the truck alarm wasn't going off during the service when the protesters were still saying the same stuff. Hello, you're not. That's checkers, man. That's checkers.
No church, no people, no church. 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 No people, no church.
Definitely was intentional. Wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if somebody inside the church had a recording of somebody saying, and if anybody wants to spray those demons out there with holy water through the hose, go do it. I'll cover the costs, right? Wouldn't that be crazy if somebody had a secret recording of somebody saying to go spray those demons with the holy water from the church hose? And I already knew what was going to happen when we showed up. We went to the as soon as I showed up, I walked up, I took a photo of it, made a community post. I said, they got sprinklers, y'all, and look at, they're right here. We all use these sprinklers before. We know how far they shoot. And when you see where they were placed, that's why I took the photos I did. When you see where they were placed, you already knew what was going to happen. That's why my ass wasn't standing over there. Because you know how much equipment that I have, not only on me or in front of me, but on inside my backpack. Like, I'm ready to go. Well, Jay's phone, he said his phone, because they sprayed his phone. Check out the last two video drops. It's part 1 and part 2. Where we talked to Jay about the whole incident. $1,200 phone. He was sprayed directly, all like this. And he said his phone ain't been working ever since. It ain't been working ever since. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you, Commercial Zone. Happy 4th to you. Yeah, we're gonna go into it, TJ. $1,200 phone. Yeah, he said it ain't been acting right. They said make a mockery. That's probably, Lynn, because you saw what he was writing about us to the Sun News. You saw what he was writing about us to the Sun News. Come on, y'all can check the tape. That's why I document all of this stuff, so the truth is shown. That's why it's a live stream, because the truth is shown. It's ridiculous. Yes, happy 4th weekend. All right, let's get to, here's another video. This is a U8581. After FBI investigation launched, Miller and Winslow go quiet. Well, Miller's been speaking a lot.
Breaking news in the Michael Miller case, and you're going to want to listen to this. MyrtleBeachSC.com just posted an article called After FBI Investigation Launched, Miller and Winslow Go Quiet. Who is Winslow, you ask? Tom Winslow is JP's lawyer. Tom Winslow goes to Solid Rock Church, and Tom Winslow owns 200 acres near where the body of Michael was found. Tom Winslow also is an expert in AI. I'll go ahead and read straight from the article. Attorney Tom Winslow owns 200 acres that back up to the creek that leads down to where Micah's body was found. Tom just asked Nina, his property manager, yesterday to go start cleaning up there as it is overgrown. Tom Winslow is also the one who signed off on Michael's power of attorney papers for JP. The article says, working with Michael's own attorney and with legal help from attorney Tom Winslow, John Paul had Micah medically and legally determined to be mentally unstable. So here we have JP's attorney who goes to Solid Rock Church, who owns 200 acres that back right up to where Michael was found, who is an expert in AI, which I have been trying to tell everybody all along. I believe that phone call was AI generated for many reasons, and he was the attorney that allowed JP.
I want to get into that because how can I do this? Commercial zone. You're a music connoisseur. All right. Anybody. This is why I don't feel it was AI generated. And unfortunately, I can't do it because it'll get slapped for copyright. Look up Kurt Cobain sings Alice in Chains. Okay? Now, when you hear Kurt Cobain's voice, AI generated Kurt Cobain's voice, you hear the raspy, especially on words with a lot of emphasis. The raspy. Even AI generated Kurt Cobain. Raspy. There's not a raspy in the 911 call. If it was AI generated, AI generates Kurt Cobain's raspy, AI would generate Micah's raspy. I don't feel like it was AI generated. I feel like it was somebody else pretending to be her. What's up, Katrina84? What's up, Dispatch? These pics are incredible. Which ones? I know, one of my favorites. But you know what I'm saying? Like, because when I started hearing all that, I watched a thing on, like, literally they just take vocals of like 30 seconds and next thing you know, it's like they can literally, you have to sing and then they apply that to your, the voice that you put in there and then changes it, morphs it, and it's like, dang. So if AI generates the raspy of Kurt Cobain to make it sound like Kurt Cobain singing Alice in Chains, because it ain't Kurt Cobain if it doesn't have raspy, then it would do the same for Micah's voice. If it was AI generated, you would get the raspy during the high key emphasis of the words that she's speaking, because if you listen to her voice, the extra emphasis on certain syllables of certain words gives the more raspy. Listen closely to the 911 call. Where's the raspy? Forget the birds. Forget the birds. Where's the raspy? Especially in the words with extra emphasis. Oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. Yeah, we'll be heading back out on the road here. Maybe what I'll do is on the road show. Because I'm gonna probably do an on the road show for a bit. Maybe we'll rewatch the protest in its entirety. I think that'd be kind of good. All right, so I'm gonna switch to we've been talking about this guy spraying, doing all that crazy stuff. By the way, here, if you want to find out his, because Jay came on the last couple nights, the part one, he discussed it, about exactly, we used the video, and then part two, is where he kind of went a little more into it and kind of a little more into his experience. So this is part one. So here's part one. And then part two is right here. So you can save those links and then check those out later. Though that's him talking about what took place, how it took place, and what he was experiencing with that. Now we're going to switch to JLR, and we're going to watch this. This is about the sprinkler boy, and he's wanted. Shout out to JLR. Appreciate all of his hard work. Him and Magnolia, they make a great team, and I appreciate all their support too. We're going to check this out here.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy 4th of July. JLR Investigates. Come on in. Come on in. It is the 4th of July. Let freedom ring. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. But guess what, folks? Freedom is not ringing for this guy right here. We're going to talk. Yes, today is Independence Day, and it is a beautiful day. Hope everyone is having a fantastic 4th of July. If you're not from the United States, hope you're having a great day. A lot of people watch JLR Investigates from around the globe, but freedom is not ringing for this guy right here. And as predicted, folks, like we discussed yesterday, there is an arrest warrant out for Robert Lachelle. Who is Robert Lachelle, you might ask? Well, it's centered around the Micah Francis, John Paul Miller case. This guy is wanted for numerous accounts of assault, folks. And I got the police report. I obtained the police report from the Myrtle Beach Police Department. And as of yesterday, there's arrest warrants, plural, out for this guy right here. What did he do? You might be asking. And what does this have to do with Micah Miller, John Paul Miller? Well, me and Magnolia have been coming online the last couple times, the last few days about these lives, about these protests, and it seems like the temperature has been turned up a little bit. It seems like there's been more hostility.
Yeah.
Hostility.
Like I was saying, each protest that we go to, I'm like, yo, it's getting more and more and more and more. And that's why I keep repeating over and over and over, and why we keep discussing it, of like how we need to make sure people understand that we ain't crossing any boundaries. We're being totally respectful. I encourage people to share the freaking protest shows, because it really truly shows how respectful and peaceful we all are, considering the propaganda that's being put out there against us from JP to the local newspapers. They're making it seem like we're out there creating chaos, and we're not. It's why it's important to make sure that people see these protest lives, because they can really, I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's 2024. We're supposed to be progressing. And when it comes to these misinfo sheep, oh, they said that I was supposed to go this way. I didn't think to look for myself. Think about it when it comes to this newspaper article. All the people sitting down at breakfast eating shredded wheat, reading it with their honey. Shit, we better go. In the name of the Lord, let's go help out Solid Rock, baby. Like, stop with the propaganda. It's crazy. It's getting worse and worse and worse. If anything, the Sun News, if anything, you should be reporting how respectful we are and how they are going overboard, the Sun News. If you want to be respectful about it, report how we're being respectful and they're going overboard.
By this guy, and
who at the Sun News is in with this guy? Because they were supposedly out there. Why didn't you come talk to any protesters? Well, you were supposedly there. Why didn't you report on how respectful we were being? Instead, you're going to promote the propaganda from JP
and his congregation.
Tell
Justice
the real
for
story,
Micah protesters outside the church. People, Justice for Micah posted online, Purple Hearts. But it seems like members of his church have fired back and have been doing, things that seems like to a level that seems like now across the line. And guess what, folks? This Lachelle guy is in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yep.
And John Paul Miller is most likely in big trouble too, because this assault occurred on his property, his church property.
Yep.
Solid Rock Church. Last weekend, there was an incident where this man right here, he actually came out of the Solid Rock Church and picked up a sprinkler and weaponized the sprinkler and then sprayed a crowd of people on the sidewalk while he was on Solid Rock Church property. Now, this is not going to go well once he's put in handcuffs or once he gets booked. One, we will get the mugshot. Two, I'm figuring the mainstream media is probably going to start circulating this guy's photo and connect him with John Paul Miller. Why? Because an assault took place on his property, the church property. I don't know if it's his property, but he runs the.
Yeah, because you can see, and I'll show you the freaking video. Here's the raw video. You can see he's on the grass of the church, and everybody else is on the sidewalk.
No people, no church. 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 Just little babies. No people, no church. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. This is he's splitting us.
Watch, and you can see as the cop, he's trying to put the sprinkler back in the grass. Now watch, he's still standing in the same spot. Now you'll see the cop come up. Watch, he's still in the grass. He's still in the grass.
No church. No people. No church. No
Now it zoomed back.
people. No church. No people. No church.
Everybody's on the sidewalk. He is on the property of Solid Rock. I'm so glad we keep these things documented.
The Solid Rock Church. He is known as the spiritual leader of Solid Rock. It's going to be interesting, folks. And I'm going to read you the police report. But what we're talking about, it's remind the viewers again. We played this yesterday. We played this before. We're going to play this again because we want to show that, one, we say no to violence on JLR Investigates. We don't support violence whatsoever. If you don't agree with someone's views, you don't agree with someone's views, right?
Right.
That's what makes this day, Independence Day, 4th of July, important when it comes to freedom of expression and your opinion, right? This is what makes America, America, right? People have opinion, they have views. You might not like and agree with a lot of people's views out there. You might not agree with what I do sometimes. And there's a lot of things I don't agree with out there that I see with my very own eyes. But you don't resort to violence. You don't act out. You don't act out.
No people, no church. 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 Thank you. Feels so good. Woo! Thank you.
Uh-oh. That's it, folks. According to Myrtle Beach,
And this is why I told the
that is
police,
assault.
I said, listen, if you're going to keep enforcing rules on our side and not on their side, you don't know who you're dealing with these people. They will push every boundary and cause every issue, and they're not trustworthy. They're not a normal church, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So what happened in that incident? Guy used the spray. You might think it's funny. You might think, no, it's no big deal. But some of the people there that got sprayed in the eye claim they got injured and their eyes got irritated from water sprayed in their eye. Can't just go around spraying people. So what happened? They filed police reports, 5 of them, I'm told, 5 of them with the Myrtle Beach Police Department. And as of yesterday, there's a warrant out for his arrest. And I will show you. I will show you the police reports. It's not good. It's not going good right now in the Lachelle family because he should be very worried. And John Paul Miller should be very worried too because now an assault took place on his property. And it's probably going to embarrass the Solid Rock Church as soon as the media gets wind of this. And I think it'll probably be tomorrow. The next day, they might not report it. They might turn a blind eye to it. But I think it's definitely newsworthy. And
this was from yesterday. So has there been? Because we just talked about it a minute ago. Sun News was putting out this information. They weren't. Hey, they were making it seem with their reporting. They're making it seem like we're out there creating chaos because they're going off of words of somebody else. You should get the whole story. So I'm wondering, has the Sun News today, did the Sun News put out an article about this taking place? I'm curious. Let's look. We'll look here in a minute.
Worthy, right? What do you think? Yeah, warrant. Warrant for his arrest. Look, here's the police report. Here's the police report. And in this police report, dated, where's the date? Oh, 7/3/2024 at 1956. Here we go. Here's the narrative. On 6/3/2024, RO responded to the incident located in reference to an assault that had just occurred. Upon arrival, it was learned that all the victims were on the sidewalk in front of the incident location performing a peaceful protest when an older white man wearing a teal shirt offender came outside of the church side door and picked up the portable pressurized sprinkler out of the grass, intentionally spraying victims 1 through 5. The offender was spoken to by Officer McCluskey and admitted to his actions due to his wife's frustrations. Warrants for assault in the 3rd degree.
So he blamed it on his wife. His wife was mad, so that's why he went. It's like Will Smith going up to slap Chris Rock, you know? It's like Will Smith going up to slap Chris Rock. What the fuck you doing, bro?
Are being sought on the offender. Boom. There you have it. Warrants for assault in the 3rd degree are sought on the offender. Now, at this time, folks, he could
right,
have turned
Missy?
himself in. He could have voluntarily went down to the Myrtle Beach Police Department, but
I mean, think about it, right, Missy? Right, Missy? It's like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. His wife's frustrations. His wife. That's, I mean, hey.
But at this time, I'm looking in the Horry County database. I don't see a court case yet. But it'll probably come very, very soon. And what is all the protesters and what are all the people going to do? They're probably going to do a public records request, and there will be a mugshot. Warrants in the 3rd degree. I didn't even look up what's 3rd degree. What's the maximum penalty for spraying someone with a hose? 3rd degree assault.
I mean, you get what I'm saying, though, right?
And this is I'm
you get what I'm saying.
People, you know, there's consequences to this kind of stuff. You know,
Let's
you
be
might
real.
think it's funny. Oh yeah, I just spray somebody. Ha ha, hoo hoo, ha ha. Get wet.
He Will Smithed his ass. That's what happened.
If someone is charged with assault and battery in the 3rd degree in South Carolina, it means they are accused of injuring or attempting to injure someone with legal justification. If convicted of this misdemeanor charge, it's a misdemeanor. 5 counts, though. 5 counts. The defendant could face up to $500 fine as well as 30 days in prison. He might.
You know damn well they ain't gonna give him jail time. Come on, let's be honest. You know damn well they ain't gonna give him jail time. Real talk. And you know who's gonna cover the bill. You know who's gonna cover that bill. If it's 5 times 5, you know it's 2,500. You know who's gonna cover that bill. What's up, Pam? I mean, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? He Will Smithed him.
Might laugh at 30 days of prison. Every day in prison is not good. Any day in jail is not good, especially for a guy in his 60s, right?
Oh, yeah.
That most likely hasn't really been in trouble with the law. He got some vehicle infractions, whatever. Nothing serious,
There you
whatever
go.
like that. 5 counts.
There you go. Water that, right, Yoli? Don't be watering protesters. Water government plants for community service. There you go.
Now he might think it's a joke, whatever, like that.
Thank you for your
I don't think
circus,
he'll
sir.
go to jail for it, but I also don't think they'll be dropped.
You know, I made a, by the way, with the thank you for your circus, I did, I'll admit, I did make a highlight. I just never uploaded it. I thought about, we'll play it to end the show, okay? We'll just play it to end the show. Thank you for your circus.
The charges, and I do think that ultimately he'll probably plead guilty to a probation and get 1 year of probation. But now you have a problem for John Paul Miller. Why? Because you now have a church member committing assault on Justice for Micah's protesters. How can he say he didn't do it? He admitted to it because his wife was frustrated. What was his wife frustrated? And like we said, folks, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors at the Solid Rock Church with the last remaining members. There's like probably about 30.
It was like he was the last man on earth, you know? He heard his wife, her frustration, and he just came out there like he was the last man on earth.
Members left. But we reported, Magnolia reported just about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, there was a secret meeting between JP Miller, Charles Randall, Trisha Ross, and I think there was a few other there. We know that they had a not Sunday meeting, but a secret meeting.
Yeah.
And from that time that secret meeting occurred, it seems like once that secret meeting occurred, it seems like they have an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And their agenda is to confront and be very hostile.
You know what I think that secret meeting was, you guys? I think that secret meeting, because like I would say, like this whole like, and out of respect for him, I don't want this, what I'm saying, to even be associated with JLR, because it has nothing to do with JLR. The whole stuff about, I know more than you because I talked to the FBI. No. It was obvious from the very beginning. This is why I said she probably had a flash drive. Been saying it for a long time. Because if you look at the papers that were filed from the family about what Micah expressed to them about what she was worried about, who would have done something if something happened to her, how it would have happened, where on her body it would have happened, not only the information that she was collecting. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it wasn't a secret. Court TV put out a video right after talking about how the FBI was starting to investigate the church's financials. You saw the best friend on there discussing a lot of stuff. The weird shit with JP calling her when she didn't even know what happened. The weird thing with the purse, how the fisherman knew exactly everything that was in her frickin' purse. Named it all in each compartment. Named it. You were looking for something. You didn't just come across and see cash. When you can specifically say, oh, this was here and this was here and this and it had this and this was in this patch and whoa, bro, you were looking for something specific. It's not any secret and has not been any secret that the FBI has been investigating it. It's not been any secret that it has to deal with financials. And we've been saying it for this whole time when it comes to, like when we started talking about it and everybody's like, he should be in cuffs. And it's like, everybody, y'all have to understand when it comes to financials and all the different connections and the spider webs that take place, it's going to take some time. Guaranteed there's a lot of people that were talking because there was a lot of people talking because there was a lot of information out there because 700 to 800 people going down to 50 and lickety split don't happen unless, especially a congregation, don't happen unless there's proof that people can not only discuss but show. Look, Betty, this is what I was saying. Oh my gosh. I ain't going there no more. That's why I said a little bit ago, don't get fooled by the I know more than you. Because I talked to the FBI. I'm in between you and them. And so you need to listen to me. Come on now. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down a little bit. All right, back to this. Oh, this guy's in trouble. JP is going to cover it. You know he's going to.
Both on person and online to Justice for Micah people that are out there advocating for Micah. They're commenting and anonymous people as people, because I don't think just regular people are doing it. They seem like they're commenting under fake accounts and saying that the protesters are facing bodily injury, imminent danger and bodily harm and different, types of threats. Pulled out.
There's a lot of threats going on out there. That is true. There's a lot of threats going on out there, and they're being handled the way that they should be. They're being handled the way that they should be. I don't believe the fishermen either. That's why we're going to be going into it soon.
Pulled out. This guy was in the church.
How in the hell do you know exactly everything that was in the purse, where it was at in the purse? Come on now.
Just walked right out.
You weren't looking for
out
just
of the church,
money.
Through a side door, and went out there and didn't, without any provocation.
What's up, Carol?
Just went right over in there and started spraying the people. Now, this is at the same time J.P. Miller turns the sprinklers on to the protesters and turn them deliberately facing the sidewalk, so all the water really stays off the grass, but everyone on the sidewalk gets sprayed. So won't be surprised if he could possibly be charged with something down the line in reference to that. But now you have a civil liability because you got now 5 people. Some are claiming they're injured. Now, I don't know if they're over-exaggerating their injuries. I don't know if they're making this out more than it is. You might think it's a joke by spraying somebody right away, but again, this guy here could face some civil liability. What happens if one of the protesters have to go to the hospital or has to go to, an eye doctor? Because this guy sprayed them with a hose on the property of the Solid Rock Church.
And you don't know what's in that hose.
Could be some civil liability here. And like I said, expect some.
And think about it like this, too. Like, who knows what is in the water system? Little chunks, the smallest chunk of metal that could break off from inside of the hose could literally injure somebody's eye to the point where they can't even see no more because you want to be Will Smith and spray people in the face. Yeah. Nobody said he didn't. Yeah, we saw JP turning him on before service started. Yeah. We already know JP turned him on before the service started. That was right after he came up to Allie and wanted her to come in and talk too.
Civil liability on Pastor John Paul Miller.
Sprayer, dude, yeah.
Play stupid game, win stupid prizes, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Thank
but
you
also
for your circus, sir.
Forward, and maybe even backwards. Because I was looking up and I was like, church liability, assault on church grounds. And according to church tax law and tax, pastors and church and laws, key point, a church may be legally responsible for assaults occurring on its premises if similar assaults occurred on or near the premises in recent past and the
guess what?
Church failed to take reasonable precautions.
So guess what? That means if the church doesn't take reasonable precautions this weekend, when it comes to any assaults taking place, it's going to be even worse for them. Listen to that again. If the church doesn't take proper precautions, it's not going to be good for them.
5 people, some are claiming they're injured. Now, I don't know if they're over-exaggerating their injuries. I don't know if they're making this out more than it is. You might think it's a joke by spraying somebody right away, but again, this guy here could face some civil liability. What happens if one of the protesters have to go to the hospital or has to go to, an eye doctor? Because this guy sprayed them with a hose on the property of the Solid Rock Church. Well, could be some civil liability here.
Watch out, Jay.
And like I said, expect some civil liability on Pastor John Paul Miller in play stupid game, win stupid prizes, right?
Take the proper precautions,
Play
KP.
Stupid games, win stupid prizes. But also moving forward and maybe even backwards. Because I was looking up and I was like, church
go.
liability,
Here we
assault
go.
on church grounds.
Take precautions, JP.
And according to church tax law and tax, pastors and church and laws, key point, a church may be legally responsible for assaults occurring on its premises if similar assaults occurred on or near the premises in recent past and the church failed to take reasonable precautions.
So that means this guy, boy, he fucked up more than he thought he did. Because now this guy put JP and the church in a position to where if they don't take proper precautions from another church member committing an assault on a protester, oh boy. JP, you guys playing checkers too, man. That's actually a bonus for us because with this, JP has to take the proper precautions for this protest coming up. Has anybody been down there in a couple days, or did they put a fence up? Are they putting a fence up this weekend? Are they going to have the whole property fenced off? I'm curious. I'm wondering if they're going to put up a false fence this weekend that goes around the whole property except for where you can access. Interesting. Shout out JLR.
So, what happens if another person from the Solid Rock Church, another member and or John Paul Miller commits another assault on the Justice for Mica protesters? Now you have a pattern.
There we go.
Now you have a continuous pattern, folks, and people could be in big trouble.
Take your precautions,
Sprinkler guy.
JP.
So they call this guy. They call
Damn,
him
he fucked up, didn't
the
he?
Sprinkler Boy.
He fucked up, didn't he?
Yeah, he's in big trouble.
He fucked up.
Big trouble. So I wanted to share that information with you.
He fucked
I'm
up.
glad people are actually watching. That guy in the past doesn't have a extensive criminal record.
He fucked up.
So the judge would probably just give him probation. He could spend a day or two in jail. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Oh, and
was it?
And put the church and JP in a position where they got to take proper precautions now. That, the money, possible jail time. You brought negativity onto the church, the congregation, and you put JP in that position. Bro, you fucked up.
Is it worth it, Mr.
Damn,
Lachelle,
you fucked up.
to just spray innocent people? Were you directed to do it by John Paul Miller? That's another. And he said his wife. Who's his wife? Well, it looks like there's at least two people that are still attending the church. Lachelle and his wife. We're trying to figure out who else attends the church. But he doesn't have a crazy extended criminal record. He just has a bunch of, according to the Horry County 15th Judicial Circuit Public Index, Robert Wayne Lachelle. And he's been a defendant in numerous traffic stuff. Traffic. And he does have a criminal case back in 2019. It says criminal. And he has a pending charge for a vehicle. What did he do on 5/30? So, yeah, and freedom is not ringing very well with Mr. Lachelle right now. What did he do back in 2019? Let's see. Oh, it's an error. What did he do in 2019? I wonder what he did. I'm going to refresh. Ooh, I got to refresh. I want to see what he did in 2019. Bear with me. Let's see what Mr. Lachelle did in 2019. We're at the South Carolina case search. I think it was like a ordinance violation or something like that. I look every day to see if.
Hold on 1 second. Are you telling me that that's how they're allowed to go into church now? They have to get their badge scanned? You have to have your badge scanned before you go in? What is this church credentials? Do you need a? Because when I went there, I was told right away I needed to know somebody that was going to the church in order for me to go in. I was talking about going to church services like 3 weeks before I even made the first trip. 2-3 weeks before, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to some church services. I'm going to see what, check it out. I can watch all this other stuff, but I want to go there and actually experience it. You know what I mean? Just like when I go to these locations, I want to go there to experience the atmosphere and all these, for the most educated thought process about, all of it. And so, the protests before this last one, there was a lady that was like, this is only my 4th time being here. Remember the lady that was trying to get us to come inside? Bring the protest inside. You need to bring it inside. You need to bring it inside. And I'm like, you out of your mind. Ain't no. Because you know what they're going to do. They're going to arrest everybody. Come on. Let's be real. They're going to arrest everybody. That's what they want. That's why I said in the beginning, I felt like she was a plant, because why are you telling protesters to go inside a building and you know damn well what's going to happen? Oh, because you want to get rid of the protesters. You want those protesters that did go inside to not be able to show up anymore because the church charged you with something and you're not allowed to be around there or whatever, right? We're not that stupid. So is this what they need now? Do they need... Hold on. Do they need... Because I've seen... Where's it at? I've seen him. There it is right there. So is that what they need? Do they need that to get into the church now? Because that last lady was like, I just walked in. I'm like, yeah, they probably recognized you. She's like, no, I don't think so. Yeah, right. You sat next to Micah too. You were telling us you sat next to Micah as well. That's a good question. Do they need badges to be scanned to go inside? I don't understand. That's interesting. All right, we're going to go back to this. We'll have to look that up.
If Pastor John Ball Miller's in the website or in the web database, nothing new on him. Nothing new on Figler, the steroid guy. Nothing new on him. Nothing on Trisha Ross. By the way, Trisha Ross spoke. Okay, so let's go back to this guy.
And we are going to get into that Trisha Ross video y'all have been asking about the last couple shows. Shout out Agatha May. I want to have her on the show sometime. I think it'd be a great show, me and Agatha May hanging out for an evening.
And let's look for this criminal case in 2019. What did he do? Survey says... Right here, I don't want to put an address in. Don't want to put address. He did some sort of city ordinance charge. City ordinance charge. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Some sort of ordinance, emergency declaration, curfew violation. So
yeah, I saw that.
Only criminal charge I see, but that's nothing of nothing. So I figured based off that totality that he's old, I think the judge would probably give him, and he's probably watching, by the way, and people from the Solid Rock Church are probably watching, and people from the Solid Rock Church that are watching should be reminded that they're all noticed that, if they commit an assault or threatened or do any bodily harm to people that are peacefully protesting, they could be in big trouble with the law. And I say this out of general concern. Magnolia asked, am I going to read the police report? Yes, we read the police report. Magnolia just jumping in the chat. Hello, Magnolia. Good morning.
Yeah, I saw.
Police
I saw
report
that.
has been read, and
I saw you typing it a few times already.
we'll see what happens with this guy. Now, I want to show you something else here. That day, John Paul Miller actually, look at that. There was an incident, and we screenshot this. This was the same day. Now, John Paul Miller came out and confronted the protesters that day, and he had an interaction with the police officer here, and he didn't like what the police officer said. So he starts storming away. But one thing we noticed out of here when he was storming away, he had his fists balled, like he was mad. He was mad that the police weren't taking action on the protesters. But at the same time,
I saw it, Jay.
His people, including Trisha Ross, Lachelle, and that other guy that were out there, kind of provoking and antagonizing and gaslighting the protesters. So it's not going to stop. Here's the point we were making yesterday when I had Magnolia Investigates on, and she gave her wonderful insight about what she's been hearing on the ground. It's not going to end, folks. It's the protest is not going to end. So what is the church going to do at this point now that they have a church member that assaulted somebody? You have protesters out there.
No, it's not going to end until people quit going to the church or certain somebody's in cuffs. It's been that way from the very get-go, and it's been very vocal too.
That continue to be out there. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I mean, what is the church? Is the church going to have to just shut down their operations? I don't know. Trisha Ross releases a statement, folks. Trisha Ross posted something, and she was in the hospital, and we're glad. It looks like she had a speedy recovery. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. We will never say anything about anyone bad. At that day that she was calling out, saying that come to the church as a superhero.
Yeah, because nobody did show up as a superhero either. And that secret meeting, it was probably, did they talk to you? What'd they ask you? What'd they ask you? Think about who was all there, y'all. Susie, JP, Randall, and Trisha. All of them asking each other, what did they ask you and what did you say? Right? Why do you think there was that? Because Jesus is not going to allow people to bug our church. Jesus isn't going to allow people to bug our church when we're not doing anything wrong, right? Why do you think they met in the church? Because they're probably so full of their own shit that they think that they're not going to be bugged. Come on.
She went to the hospital that day, something to do with the heart.
Yeah, she's out.
She posted on her Facebook page, glad she's out.
Yeah, the pressure's getting to her. It's like Moscow. She used to be Chief Fry. Susie's Captain Dollinger. Susie's going to take over Trisha's spot. Trisha's on her way fucking out. Watch. Everybody thinks, guess what? I know something that you don't know. Come on, I'm not going to do that shit. But I'm going to say right now, Trisha's she's on her way out. When her ass went to the hospital, that's telling somebody up there, and you know who I'm talking about. He's saying to himself, I got to get somebody else in there. Just like they're saying about Biden now. Oh my gosh, we got to get somebody else in there. Yo. Ooh, Katrina. That's a good question. What? I wonder. She stopped taking her blood pressure meds and insulin, and after sending that. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Trisha. I was like, whoa. But the pressure's getting too much. Watch. She's going to be on her way out. She's going to be on her way out because look at how long. It wasn't long after that secret meeting that she was in the hospital. Probably got questioned some more, right? They showed up to my house again, JP. It is about Trisha? Oh, shoot. It is about, oh my gosh. They questioned me again. Now JP's like, shit, man. Susie, you're going to be the new first lady. Step on up, right, Katrina? Susie will be the new lady. Trisha's on her way out. Hold on a second. Let me go back to this. She stopped. So this is from Trisha? Are you sure? Send that to me if you have it, because I've never seen that text message. Oh, I bet she was messed up not taking medicine and... Oh, is that the one we're going to watch? Okay, cool. Because we're going to watch that one too.
Early in the morning, just the day before, she at 12:26 a.m. said a lot of things about a lot of things. We're going to read what she had to say. She is under investigation. We do know that for a fact.
Oh,
She's under
yeah.
criminal investigation along with John Paul Miller. We've
Oh,
been
yeah.
reporting that. That is.
Oh, yeah. And guess who's... That's gonna be Sammy the Bull to JP's John Gotti. She right there, I'm telling you right now, she's going to be bounced and she's going to be the one to snitch on everybody. What's up, Stephanie? Speculation, because it's at the bottom of the ticker there. Speculation. I don't work for no agency, so you know, we're not at the water cooler like some people. I know more than you. We're not at the water cooler. Speculation. But I bet you she snitches on everybody.
Is 100% fact. I don't know if the SLED or FBI has spoken to her yet. They might not even speak to her because she might be one of the targets of an investigation. But she is under investigation. She was just recently at the beach.
I bet you she knows more than JP's ass. Seriously. I bet you she knows more than JP's ass. She gonna snitch on everybody.
Watch. By the way, so was John Paul Miller. But she put out a post. She's gonna
snitch
on Facebook.
Watch.
And in this post, screenshot this, and then I'll actually hold her photo up and we'll read it. We'll do it like that so you guys can see who we're talking about.
Come on, it's like Smoke snitching on T-Rev, y'all.
So it's Trisha Ross. This is her Facebook page.
It's like
this is her Facebook page right here. You know Trisha Ross, the church administrator right there, the one that has a conviction in the past for some sort of fraud and deceit. One is under investigation, the right-hand person of John Paul Miller. Some people say the number 2 of the church. She has a picture of Myrtle Beach. She actually has a thing for Rick Warren. See its beginning, but not its end. Interesting. Okay, so what Trisha Ross says, ladies and gentlemen, and she mentions Micah in here, I believe, a few times. She goes, this is what she says. She says, okay, here's something I'm going to share. I was mentally and physically abused by...
Oh, this is that. Hold on a minute. Is this... Hold on. Because we were going to read it, but we never got to read it. Hold on. Is it this thing? Let me see here. Is it this? Let me make sure I got it. Is it this thing? We never got to read it. I pulled it up, but we never got to read it. Is that what? Hold on. Let's take a look at this real quick. Oh. Well, let me see. Let's do this. We'll go like right here. I want to pray for the healing of all the broken, and all those hearts are broken. It's real pain. I support freedom of speech when done respectfully. I don't think anyone should be kept from voicing their beliefs. I pray the pain that everyone is feeling be focused on the amazing person she was and strong person she was. We need to remember her for the Wonder Woman she truly was. She was tough and was truly a Wonder Woman. There was nothing weak about her. She was fearless. She loved adventure. She loved God, jumping out of planes or rock climbing. Knowing her, she could have done it without a harness because she liked the adventure, adrenaline rush. She would eat interesting foods, and I was always a willing participant to try whatever it was. She liked that because PJP didn't like a lot of it, so Mom and I, or just Micah and I, would go eat. I always said yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to her, as I also considered her authority over me. Not long ago, she said, "You always call me ma'am." I said yes and always will. She said she wants to go by ma'am because she will think of Micah Acacia Miller. Ma'am. Everyone focus on every single good and wonderful thing about her. Let the authorities take the reins on everything else. Trust in God. Just half the people that are part of the social media chaos would turn to God. We would have half the world getting to know God. Post a scripture, read the word, love each other, forgive each other, and most importantly, remember the vibrant, beautiful person she was. She was always disciplining someone to get them to heaven. I always took videos of her when she sang our parodies, as she liked me sending them to her. She excelled in anything she did and always wanted to do better. So all I can say is, Christians, we have to pray for her, everyone, during this horrible time. We have to lend a hand to those hurting and pray for all. It's not a time to separate, but come together for the love of Micah. Let's have her remembered with only positive things, as she deserves that. We know she met God with the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Nothing compares to the servant she was for God. If you respond to this post, only respond with something great about Micah. Remember her in the shining light she always showed. There's a big hole in everyone's hearts right now, but if I know Micah, she would not want any of the negativity. So this isn't just keep turning to God, not our flesh. Keep building God's kingdom, and we will all see her again, I'm sure, in a huge heavenly mansion. R.I.P. Gal, and I reiterate, peace. You will never be forgotten. # peace for Micah. That might not be it. That is something else. Maybe it was somewhere else. Maybe I haven't seen this. Hold on. Let's get back to this.
A boyfriend growing up. It was someone I loved. He got to a point in life that he became possessive of me. That possession resulted in him controlling me even with what I wore. I couldn't curl my hair. I couldn't talk to a guy or gal friends, or he would abuse me. He pinched me all the time when I said hello to his cousin. When he left the cousin's house, he punched me in the nose for speaking to him. His dad asked what happened since I was bleeding, and he said a dog ran in front of the car and I hit my face on the dash. He cried and apologized after he would hit me. One day he asked me to come over to talk, to get back together. When we came closer to his house, he pulled me out of the vehicle and started hitting me. So she's sharing a story. His aunt lived across the street and saw it and called his mom. He denied it, but apparently his brother kicked his butt for it. I was not allowed to go to the prom because he thought I was going to impress someone. He knew what I wore to school and who I spoke to. One time he called and I got smart with him by saying, "Oh, well," and he hung up the phone and headed to my house. I hit.
You have to, you guys, because if anybody's claiming to know information that the FBI knows and they're sharing that information on a social platform, you're not respecting the investigation. If you have information, you shouldn't be discussing it if you don't have the okay to be discussing it. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, people.
Hid in the closet, as I knew in my heart he was headed there. He couldn't find me, so he kicked my dog, who was outside on a chain, and I ran out asking him to stop. He had a friend with him, and my boyfriend took me to my room and he hit me in my face. It left a handprint. When his friend saw I had a handprint, my face, and confronted my boyfriend, which is the first time someone stuck up for me because they were all afraid of him. He would threaten to beat me up. Anyone this guy stood up for me, and his name was Mike. It caused my boyfriend to leave. I was forced to have sex when I didn't want to. We took care of his brother's house one time, and he beat my head on the floor because I didn't want anything to do with him. It made me hate relations. If we broke up, he would still control me, like knowing if I couple skated with anyone. I told no one, but it all happened. I would even take a polygraph to prove it. I would challenge him to take one as well. I've been abused. I've been controlled with everything, just a former BF. He later became a police officer, which feared me even more. It changed my entire life and my confidence. I hid it well. He even tore down our screen porch after he was visiting his new girlfriend's next door because his friend asked me to party since we had broken up. I couldn't get away from him for a while due to his possessiveness. He would forbid me to talk to my own dad because it took time away from him. It's similar to what Micah was going through with JP. That's what's weird about this. That's what's very, very weird about.
Yeah, it's all cookie cutter. They all act the same. They all act the same. And it's not about bragging about it. It's if you seriously have information that the FBI has that nobody knows, you shouldn't even be commenting on it. You could hinder the investigation. There's a lot of stuff that I get sent to me I don't even discuss. Now, there's people on the inner team. Well, there's certain things, damn straight, we're going to discuss. Do we discuss it on the show? No. Is there stuff that I don't discuss with anybody? Yeah. I could easily do the same and rake in the fucking super chats and subs and all this other shit. Just like the call yesterday. I could have sat there and let that thing go for the fucking views and the clicks, but I fucking ended that shit right away. Why? Because I think about you more than anything. I don't even want you guys to be around shit like that, so I just get rid of it. I don't give a fuck. Does it hurt me that I don't give a fuck when it comes to all that shit? Of course it does. Because I'm not out. I don't have the funds like all these people do out there. I don't have the availability to just go drop a bunch of shit. I don't. So there's no reason. That's why I'm saying, like, it's cool. There's a lot of misinformation out there. You just got to think about it. I'm not going to sit there and if there is, listen, there's conversations. There's conversations that I've had with certain people. There's discussions about certain things that I'm not even going to talk to you guys about that pertains to this case. There's stuff. I mean, why do you guys think I was so busy not the trip that I was there for a day, the trip before that where I was barely live, but I was literally, there was a lot of discussions I was having, a lot of meetings and discussions and going through documents and all sorts of stuff because it helps my knowledge so I can give it to you guys in a more informed way. But at the same time, I'm not going to hinder any investigation Because the moment that I make a comment on it, even if it is a comment about how bad it is, that's not good. And ain't nobody that has information, the FBI is going to say, oh, yeah, it's cool if you say how bad it was. They don't want you to say shit. They don't want you to say shit, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. We look, you guys see what's been going on with T-Rev and Smoke and how that could have possibly hindered an investigation for Madeline Soto. Any content creator knows you get information. You see how I'm out there. You see the connections that I have with people. There's connections beyond that with people that you would probably want to talk to. People that you would probably want to hear stuff from. I don't say it. I don't talk about it. I don't discuss it unless I have permission. And if I don't have permission, then I don't discuss it. I could sit there and say a whole bunch of shit about the conversations that I had 2 trips ago in the information. But it's out of respect for them. It's out of respect for the victim. It's out of respect for the family, their community. It's out of respect for human and investigations together, both people and process. I know there's a lot. It's bad. Okay. You ain't saying nothing nobody already thought already. And just because we only have a voice of 12,000 and you have a voice of 100,000, that's why people will come and say, oh my gosh, I get it. But if anybody goes to our shows, it's nothing new. It's stuff that's been discussed, except we're not putting hot sauce on it. We don't need to put hot sauce on it because hot sauce is not required and it's definitely not needed. You don't need to add hot sauce. We're talking about victims. Respect the process of the investigation. I know how much people want somebody in handcuffs. I saw it when y'all coming in when I first started talking about the show. I get it. Trust me, I understand. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's why I'm out there. It's why I'm giving it 150. Because I feel you. I feel you. But it's also at the same time, I could have told you how bad it was too. No, just be patient, everybody. The right thing's going to happen. Trust me, the right thing's going to happen. Okay, trust me. When I'm telling people, even the family, we will, capitalize will, find and get to the truth. It's going to happen. It just takes time. You got it exactly, Busby. You have to protect the integrity of the cases and respect the families involved. We all know how bad it was. We all know how bad it was. I appreciate you guys being here for real, because I get it. There's so many. Trust me. I know how much you want it, just like I do. I know.
About this. I did then because I was a teenager stuck and scared. I've stopped by my grocery store parking lot as a guy was hitting his girlfriend. I offered to fight him because I was bigger than him. If I witnessed abuse, I would step in. People have affected my credibility and my integrity through all that is going on. 14 to 17 years old were the toughest of my life. I did not share this for sympathy, as I would never be a victim again. People have said I lied about my abuse as a teenager, and I assure you I would not do that to someone, and I wish it wouldn't happen, as he took away my childhood. It was true, I went through it, and my husband John is who helped me through it, and the only one that knew it. I was scared when he put his arm around me. He helped me trust again and enjoy life. I will face my abuser one day, and I will let him know how he affected my entire childhood. He is the father of my daughter, and they have recently entered one another's life. I am so grateful such an amazing person is now part of my life. I am thankful it was not an abuser. Again, I do not share this for any sympathy, but to let people know I didn't tolerate any man abusing any woman, no matter what the circumstances. What she's pretty much applying, folks, is if she knew John Paul Miller was doing something to Micah, she would have stepped in. That's pretty much what she's saying.
Really?
I'm a person that stands up to abuse. I was abused myself, and if I see it, I'll call it out. That's what she's saying.
Plausible deniability. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is plausible deniability. I didn't know that there was any bullshit, because you probably know Micah didn't go to you because you're so tied into JP, number one. Okay, that's obvious. But to sit there and say that nobody else in the church came to you and whispered to you, you're out your mind. You're out your mind. To act like you never heard nothing about that? Of course Micah's not going to come to you. She knows you're up JP's rear. But to say that you didn't hear somebody, come on, when you go from 700 to 800 people down to 50, you know people talk at that congregation. Somebody had to have came to you, Trisha. Give me a break. Lying.
She made that post. That's
lying.
100% have to do everything about Micah. That's why she's standing side by side with John Paul Miller. That was the whole point.
Lying.
She is getting a lot of backlash, for being tied with John Paul Miller. But as we discussed, I don't think she has any choice at this point, because she's been involved with the finances of Solid Rock Church for the last 20 years. And people have been calling her out.
Yeah, I bet you she knows more than JP. She has to. What's with her and Papa? What's with her and Wayne? There's something.
I'm saying you knew what Pastor John Paul Miller was doing to Mike.
It's like that's JP's mama, and Randall was his uncle daddy. You got mom and dad. The dad, because dad was never around, according to you, unless he was getting your ass out of trouble. I bet you mama and daddy was Randall and Trisha.
Micah, and you know that what Pastor John Paul Miller was doing to Allison, his last wife. You knew this, but
yeah.
you want to stand side by side. So her point of making this is, I've been abused all my life, or, as a teenager by someone. And if I see anyone get abused, I will stand up for that. And I don't tolerate abuse and stuff like that. That's basically saying that, like I said, she's saying she's deflecting. I think she's 100% deflecting of this situation. And she knew what was happening to Micah. Let's not be silly here. Let's not play games. She chose the church and John Paul Miller, and she continues to do so. But again, she doesn't have a choice. She doesn't have a choice, folks, because she's so involved that, John Paul Miller probably has a lot of dirt on her, just like she has a lot of dirt on him. So you're at a standstill. So they pretty much have a pact with one another. And pact, they're just going to ride it as long as they can go. And if the ship sinks, they're gonna go down with the Titanic together. That's how it is. So a lot of people are wondering, is Trisha ever going to leave the church? Pretty much, I say no. And she's going to find every reason not to. But she has no choice. She has no choice. So now the feds can flip her, which I believe it's very, very possible. The feds flip her, and
Oh yeah, come on. Mama's gonna sing. She's gonna sing like a canary, ain't she? Mama is gonna sing. She's gonna sing.
You hear me keep talking about the feds. She's gonna keep talking about this criminal stuff. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the feds are coming. The feds are coming on this guy. It's all signs are indicating that the feds are coming, and when they come, folks, they're going to come and arrest people. I don't think it's just this guy. I think there's others involved.
Right.
And the feds are going to probably charge them.
Right. Listen. Shout out to JLR. Shout out to you. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate you so much. I would like to I need to see if you guys would like to be on a show Monday night after the protest if y'all want to come hang out over here. Either Sunday night or Monday night or something. And shout out to you and for everything you do and all the hard work. Thank you. You know she's gonna sing. You know Mama's gonna sing. Mama Trisha, she's gonna sing. I wouldn't be surprised if she knows more than JP. She has to, like Randall does. There's probably, listen, the reason I'm saying this is because there's probably think about it. There's probably a lot of stuff Randall, I'll just say Charles. There's probably a lot of stuff Charles and Trisha shielded JP from. Okay? They were probably his brain, JP, because look, he can't listen, he goes out and talks to the cops, and the dude loses his shit. He goes out and talks to the cops, dude loses his shit. He can't think straight. He can't think straight. He's got too much emotion going on. When you sit there and make decisions off of emotion, you mess up. Okay? He wouldn't be this successful with his thought process and the way that he does it. So, Charles and Trisha are probably, you need to do this. You should do this. You should do this. I wouldn't be surprised that they shielded JP from a lot of stuff that he didn't even know about. And that's why I'm saying, I bet you Trisha and Charles know a hell of a lot more than JP, not because they shielded him from a lot of stuff too. I wouldn't be surprised if they used him as a pawn for some of this stuff too. Think about it, especially when it comes to the financials. Because if you have somebody that has that much power and you know how their emotions work and you know how to manipulate those emotions, you can literally get somebody like JP to do whatever you want. When somebody constantly has so many emotions before the thought process, those are people you could manipulate like crazy. Because if you control the emotions of JP, you control what JP does. Because JP goes off of emotions and reacts off of emotions. So if you know the reactions to each emotion, then you can literally put him in a situation to have a certain emotion. So then he acts a certain way. And by golly, he just did what the hell you wanted him to do. That's why I say I feel like they know more than JP. Oh, and shout out to JLR for not making it a hot sauce comment. You know, it's so bad. No, we've all known that the FBI is coming. We've known that the FBI has been coming this whole time. We already know how bad it is. We already know. I mean, come on. We already know a lot of the different connections out there. The FBI is already doing their work. They're already 15 steps ahead of us. We're just doing our own, and we're having the same thought process, and we're coming to some of the same conclusions, I imagine. I get a lot of stuff too. Right, TJ? Am I saying something, TJ? I ain't saying nothing, am I? No. The other people have reached out. We are in an information business. We are in an information business. This is what we do. That's why I say it's journalism. That's why I approach it the same way. As a journalist, I'm there to absorb the atmosphere. I'm there to collect information, and I'm there to give it to you. Just like the ticket number. You're coming into the show, you're opening the door. You're grabbing the ticket number because you like the show and you want to hear even more. So come on. Let's sit down. Sit down in front of the, here's the chair. Let's talk. We are in an information business. Oh. I do appreciate him because he's not trying to do the hot sauce either. You know what I mean? That we don't need hot sauce.
Maybe with RICO or conspiracy or mail fraud, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, and any other type of tax fraud oriented charges connected to Solid Rock. And they might not get him for actually what happened to Micah Miller, but they're going to get him for something. And Trisha Ross's fingerprints is all over this. And she's an habitual offender. She's going to have no choice. She's going to have no choice. And she's going to either have to stay with him or the feds flip her. But
well, Allie, we were going into this video a little earlier. I think it was at the 12-minute mark. He discusses JP needs to have the proper precautions so this doesn't happen again. So hopefully, boy, this sprinkler guy really put JP in a bad position doing it on the property of the church. JP's got to have preparation set up because it can get even worse. It can get even worse if he doesn't have the proper preparations. I'm wondering if they're going to put up a false fence for the protest is what I'm wondering.
None of us, I don't think, is going to influence her to go other way, because if she suddenly leaves the church, I think John Paul Miller might do something to her, or
which you should. You should have a false fence up if you're freaking protest, or if the church members are going to come out and assault the protesters. You should have a fence up. Keep your freaking sheep inside there, man. What the hell?
I just think she's too in this conspiracy to. People say Trisha for prison. Trisha for prison.
Oh, you already know.
So that's what's going on that aspect. I do want to show you something else here. I wanted to show you just on the...
There's a reason why she's been around all this time, all right? Come on now. We just talked about it.
Multiple lawyers that John Paul Miller has, because he has a lot of lawyers handling his case, the case against the Francis family. And out of these lawyers...
Oh, yeah.
These are the lawyers handling the...
That's why anybody can see these protests and see it's nothing but peaceful, positive. We respect all requests and we do it the right way. All these articles that JP's coming out with, how we're doing this and scaring people and all this other BS. The lives are documentation that the right thing is happening the right way. You can't... Check the tape, JP. Quit making shit up, man.
In the case. And I actually
wanted
to show you guys for the first time a little bit about the other attorneys. So John Paul Miller is listed as a defendant in this case. Solid Rock Ministries is listed as a defendant. We've already talked about Joy Page. Regina Ward represents the Francis family. But then you have these other names here that are listed. Michael Schwartz actually represents the church. We discussed him. He actually comes from the law firms of Robert Long. But then you have these three other attorneys. You have Branna J. Williams, you have Ryan Stampfly, and you have this Caitlin Floyd. You have three other attorneys. And I just wanted to just share so we can be familiar with the attorneys handling this case. My thing is, oh, by the way, I'm wearing an American flag on Independence Day. Wear an American flag on Independence Day. So let's talk about his other attorneys that we never even spoke to. This guy here, this guy's name is Robert Stampfly. Robert Stampfly. He comes from the Indigo.
I was wearing red, white, and blue yesterday. I just had blue shorts on, and unfortunately, you couldn't see them. But I was wearing the red, white, and blue.
Family law. He's part of the attorney team too. And this guy says, according to the bio on Indigo family law, I had a bit of untraditional path to the law. I have a Bachelor of Science in nursing and planned on using that to help pay for medical school or open up my own healthcare business. When I realized that medicine was not my calling, I chose a career in law. I began as an injury and accident attorney, utilizing my medical knowledge in medical sensitive cases. And this is interesting because why I say this in his bio is, John Paul Miller is going to probably say that Micah Miller has medical issues. She's not mentally fit. She didn't take her medicine or lithium and everything like that. This is where I think this guy, their lawyer, the lawyer that he hired, this is going to be his specialty about the medical aspect of the case. Life, however, changed some of my plans as I branched out my own life and kept drawing my practice into a sphere of family law. My wife and I had 2 children. When my youngest was diagnosed with autism, I had to increase my focus on my family. With increased personal focus on family, my practice began to change from which I practiced some family law to a practice with primary focus on family law. Family law. So I do expect when it comes to this case that this guy's going to file stuff in reference to Micah Miller's medical stuff. So this is the medical aspect of his dream team lawyer. So keep an eye on that. Now we have Caitlin Floyd. This is another attorney. John.
Yeah, so because they need to prove that they didn't have her admitted for no reason. They're going to double down on all of it because they need to show that, yeah, there was a reason why we had her admitted. Because watch, the whole in-home counseling, come talk to us about your problems. Don't go talk to them. Why? Because if something serious that should be handled by authorities doesn't get handled by, just come talk to us. Oh, well, here, this is what I think you should do. Don't go to them. Just pray about it. Don't go tell them your story. Just pray about it. Keep it in-house. Why do you look at what JP's first ex-wife was writing to the frickin' court system about what he was doing. You don't think there was a lot of people that probably Trisha too. Don't go to them, honey. Just pray about it. Don't go tell them your story. Just pray about it. Here, we have a program for that, a 3 CD packet. So when it came to Micah being admitted, and you kind of know the story of how it went down, they played hide and go seek until she showed up at Walmart, and then they bum rushed her and had her admitted even though she didn't want to, right? Well, Mystic Moon, you have to understand. This is okay. I'm just going to tell you this. I asked the family if this came from the family. I asked the family, did Micah have mental health issues before she met JP? They said no. Of course, the allegations about the mental health are going to be correct, is because they told me she didn't show any signs of those issues until her marriage. We've been saying it. Right? I asked straight up, did the mental health issues, did you see any mental health issues before her marriage to JP? No. None of them started happening until after. You know what she went through? Of course. I would expect anybody that goes through those traumatic things to have some mental health struggles. And then the substances, I mean, listen to her. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine what she was going through. The substances, the fear, the chemicals, the fluids, the stuff that he was doing with other people. This is why I'm saying it doesn't need to. Just like me and JLR. Yeah, she's been in there. There've been an investigation going on. We know that we don't need to go. It's bad, people. Of course, this stuff is gonna. I could walk outside and tell you the sun is yellow. I mean, we could. I can go outside and go, hey, guess what, everybody? I'm coming out live from outside, and I just wanted to let you know that the sun is yellow. And then I'm predicting that later tonight, when the sun sets, we're gonna get a moon, and I bet you the moon is gonna be grayish. Oh boy.
John Paul Miller has Caitlin Floyd, and Caitlin Floyd doesn't really say much about her, just how she practices law. She practices family law. She has a bachelor's of arts, political science, public affairs.
The moon is going to be grayish tonight. I'm calling it right now.
Charleston School of Law. And I'm just reading. She's also from the Indigo family of law. So I don't know what her specialty is going to be. She might be just she's known as an associate attorney. So she might be the paper stuff. She might be the paper stuff. And then we have another one, Brianna Williams. You got to remember these faces.
I'm calling it right now. The moon is going to be grayish tonight, okay? I'm calling it right now.
Because each one, and a lot of times lawyers have specialties. And when you have a dream team of lawyers, every time there's a motion or something filed or an argument or something, you might have a certain attorney step to the plate and argue. This one is Brianna Williams. She's an attorney and partner. And she's just a certified family court mediator, a family court mediator. She also was a criminal defense attorney, where she says, as a criminal defense attorney, death penalty certified, and has tried 2 death penalty cases. She's a former prosecutor. Folks. And she also trained at DUI, trained and certified administrator for FSTs. I don't know what FSTs stand for. So you always want to get an idea of who these attorneys are and their specialties. He has 4 attorneys. The Solid Rock Church has 1, Schultz, and Micah Miller's family only has 1 attorney. So think what we're going up against. And when we say we, because I'm Team Micah all the way. That's my bias, Gonzo, journalism, reporting, whatever like that. I'm going to report as Team Micah because I've seen enough. I came to the conclusion that this guy has committed criminal acts. This guy has committed civil acts. This guy is responsible for what happened to Micah Miller. For sure. Did he pull the trigger for Micah Miller when she died tragically on April 27th? I say no. He probably was where he was at.
She was lowered.
He was where he was at, in Charleston.
Right. He wanted to have a freaking alibi. Oh, I was at a soccer game. That ended early. I was at a soccer game. All right, hold on. Let me see here. We're going to play this Trisha episode too. I wanted to share this video. I thought this was a good one. I hadn't heard of this channel. We're going to share a couple clips, links, but we're not really going to go into too much. I wanted to share this one. This was from Radiant Brit, and I just came across her channel, and I was checking out this video. Now, this has to do with JP wasn't the only dark pastor at Solid Rock. Now, if you see Allie's sign, okay, that certain individual is also on that sign. Watch the moon. I don't know. I'm just calling it right now. It might be grayish. It might be grayish. But here's this channel. Here's the link for it. This discusses more about Bernie Kennerson, okay? And he was the gentleman that said that, JP was not the man that he thought he was, and he's disappointed. And it's like, bro, you're a pedo, and you're up there preaching at a church around children, man. What are you talking about? You're a freaking pedo. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? So I wanted to share that. This one we are going to play. This is a video from, I share her channel a few times. We haven't got to get in because she's got a really good fisherman video that she put together. And I wanted to we'll go into that when we get into the fisherman stuff. I'm trying to save it all for one episode. I don't want to spread it out to too many. So here's her channel. This is the 411, the 411. And we're going to watch this video. This is, we talked about Chris Skinner, okay, a few shows ago. Definitely needs more attention. We're going to be doing some more stuff when we go on this trip. This next trip that we're going down there, we're going to be doing more stuff on Chris Skinner as well as Micah. And then she did the 911 call. So I wanted to share that with you guys real quick here.
Myrtle Beach 911. What is the address of your emergency?
I don't know the actual address, but it's on the corner of Yorkshire Parkway and Wellington Way in Emmons Preserve.
Yorkshire and Wellington?
Yes, ma'am. It's our pool. It's Emmons Preserve Pool in the Emmons Preserve Community and Market Commons.
Okay, what's going on?
We have a dead body in our pool.
You have a dead body in your pool?
Yes, ma'am. They tell me it's a male. He was disabled. His wheelchair and all is in the pool.
Okay. All right. I'm going to... Hold on.
We can't know him.
How long has he been in there?
I don't know, but he's been in there some time because when I first got here at 8 o'clock, I thought it was an inner tube that was, deflated. I didn't go over and look. I'm sorry?
Okay, ma'am. Just stay on the line with me. I'm just talking to my fire dispatch here.
Okay. I don't even know his wife's phone number.
Okay. Okay. Is there anyone out there?
Yes, we were having water. We were going to have water aerobics. So there's like 4 of us here right now. So yeah, someone will be here to let them in.
Okay. Is anyone trying to get him out, or
they tried to get him out, but they can't move him. Is he still in the wheelchair? He's still in his wheelchair. She could not move anything.
Okay, stay on the line. Just updating them now. Okay, we've got paramedics on the way.
Thank you. I think he's gone.
Right, and who's gone?
The body in the
pool. Yeah. Okay. All right, and I just want to make sure you said you're Yorkshire and Wellington, correct?
Yes, there's a clubhouse here. You'll see the clubhouse and the pool's just beyond it. We'll have someone at both gates.
Okay. Are you a resident there, or are you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, I am a resident.
All right, here we go. Let me just update them because they're on the way.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
They'll still be able to get here. It's on the corner of Yorkshire and Wellington Way anyway, so.
Okay. Yeah, he's in the wheelchair. They can't get him out.
Who are you talking? 911. Well, I'm talking to Myrtle Beach. She's got paramedics on the way. I talked to, it was Horry County first.
All right, ma'am. All right, perfect. Yep, they are on the way. I've got units coming to you, okay?
Okay, thank you. You will have someone at the gate to let them in.
Yes, ma'am. I did update them now, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't apologize.
According to Chris Skinner's death certificate, he died at 12:41 p.m. at Grand Strand Medical Center. Deputy Coroner Tamara A. Willard ruled his manner of death an accident, and his cause of death being asphyxiation due to drowning. He was cremated, and the Myrtle Beach Police closed the case 2 days after his death. Let's be clear here. We are not accusing anyone of murder. There is no evidence that ties JP or anyone to the death of Chris Skinner. However, we learned in the Murdaugh case that it is so important to put sunlight on those newsworthy elements of an investigation that just don't add up. An example, Gloria Satterfield, as the threads just might lead down a road to justice. Luna Shark Media reporter and researcher Beth Braden FOIA'd for all materials related to Chris Skinner's death. But the bulk of what we received was a 2-page investigation report that states the date, time, and place of the incident, followed by a short summary that states the following.
On September 6th, 2021, at approximately 08:54 hours, I, PFC Liozzi, responded to 1145 Yorkshire Parkway, which is within the city limits of Myrtle Beach, in reference to a drowning. When I arrived on scene, I observed a wheelchair in the pool and began speaking to witnesses and family members. The victim was transported by medics to the hospital, and Sergeant Gibson was notified. There is nothing further at this time.
Myrtle Beach Police did not give us any records of witness interviews in our FOIA request. A Myrtle Beach legal representative said specifically that there weren't any further paper statements that were subject to FOIA, but we have filed an additional FOIA request regardless. Specifically, Beth was told that typically witness statements are done by body-worn cameras, which are not subject to FOIA. That would be a very odd way for a police department to collect evidence that circumvents FOIA on purpose. Anyway, after we received this FOIA response, we noticed another news outlet received additional documents that the Myrtle Beach Police conveniently left out of our FOIA request. That additional report stated that Chris was supposed to meet a friend there that morning, and that police did review video footage from a pool that showed Chris in his wheelchair, quote, moving quickly forward into the water by himself. The camera apparently showed him, quote, lifting his head up a few times before, quote, the camera cuts to a different time. How does a paralyzed, but otherwise seemingly healthy and athletic 41-year-old man end up drowning to death in a neighborhood pool? Did he call for help? If the wheelchair malfunctioned, did anyone bring a lawsuit against the chair manufacturer, or perhaps the community? Why is it so hard to FOIA for basic investigation details in Myrtle Beach? The materials that they gave us in this response to our FOIA actually made the investigation look more suspicious than it is. I could go on and on with questions we have about this case because the little information that we got from a FOIA request make us question quite a bit of the events described.
And I'm going to let you all listen to that again. It's ridiculous.
The representative said specifically that there weren't any further paper statements that were subject to FOIA, but we have filed an additional FOIA request regardless. Specifically, Beth was told that typically witness statements are done by body-worn cameras, which are not subject to FOIA. That would be a very odd way for a police department to collect evidence that circumvents FOIA on purpose. Anyway, after we received this FOIA response, we noticed another news outlet received additional documents that the Myrtle Beach Police conveniently left out of our FOIA request. That additional report stated that Chris was supposed to meet a friend there that morning, and that police did review video footage from a pool that showed Chris in his wheelchair, quote, moving quickly forward into the water by himself. The camera apparently showed him, quote, lifting his head up a few times before, quote, the camera cuts to a different time. How does a paralyzed, but otherwise seemingly healthy and athletic 41-year-old man end up drowning to death in a neighborhood pool? Did he call for help? If the wheelchair malfunctioned, did anyone bring a lawsuit against the chair manufacturer, or perhaps the community? Why is it so hard to FOIA for basic investigation details in Myrtle Beach? The materials that they gave us in this response to our FOIA actually made the investigation look more suspicious than it is. I could go on and on with questions we have about this case because the little information that we got from a FOIA request make us question quite a bit of the events described. But this is a mini-sode. While there does appear to be evidence that this was an accident, the words in Allison Williams' sworn affidavit keep ringing in my head. Quote, it is chilling to know that the spouses of both Susie and JP are now dead from tragic events. Right now, we are asking anyone with information on Chris Skinner's death to email info@lunasharkmedia.com. And even though today's mini-sode is short, Lunashark Premium members are getting a second bonus episode this week.
And here you go. Here's the link to this. Shout out to her. Yeah, he was supposed to meet somebody to play chess. Right? So we're going to be talking more about that on the next trip here. We're going to be doing some stuff on that as well. Shout out to Agatha May Detective Agency. I love the logo. I think it's really neat and great information as well. So you guys have been bugging me. We're going to watch this. Trust me, I've wanted to watch it too. We just had to get through some other stuff. Definitely go show some love over to Agatha May. We got to have a show with her some night. This is more about Trisha.
Welcome back to the Agatha May Detective Agency. I'm Agatha May, and I'm here with another video and another nickname. Trisha, look at my boots, Ross. Got her nickname because this chick really digs her some girly combat boots. Not only are they a fun fashion choice, but they are more than likely necessary to wear while being around John Paul Miller, due to the constant flow of excrement pouring from his mouth. Trisha Island Ross was born in 1967 to David and Mary Jo August Island in Zaragoza, Spain. That's right, España. Well, this is already way more exciting than Susie's video was. Now, when I first discovered that Trisha was born in Spain, I was positively giddy, thinking about turning her into a Spanish señorita and having the entire video be Spanish-themed. Just think of all the sangria and castanets and flamenco and bullfighting. Not to mention the tapas and paella and La Sagrada Familia and Alhambra. But it turns out Trisha's just plain old American. The disappointment is palpable. Trisha grew up in a military family. Her paternal grandfather was a command sergeant major in the Army. Well, that is fancy. And her father was a sergeant, which isn't as fancy, but still okay, I guess. Her father was stationed in Zaragoza when Trisha was born. So Trisha was born an American in the land of siestas and sunshine. Well, that explains her sunny disposition. Trisha grew up in DeLand, Florida. DeLand has a population of 41,324 and is about 34 miles north of Orlando. Now, Orlando is a place that I visited once, and I never want to visit there ever again for as long as I live. And in fact, I don't even want my ashes to visit there once I'm dead. DeLand was originally known as Persimmon Hollow until a stupid baking soda magnate, Henry Addison DeLand, came to town and decided that Persimmon Hollow needed buildings and infrastructure. The townspeople, who obviously enjoyed luxuries such as streets more than they appreciated picturesque town names, renamed the town DeLand. Okay, that had nothing to do with Trisha, but we're here to learn. Trisha attended DeLand High School from 1981 through 1985, and at that time, her parents owned a home security company. Throughout high school, Trisha was involved in nothing, absolutely nothing. No sports, no clubs, no yearbook staff, nothing. It seems she just went to class and then went home. Well, maybe she had to help install security systems for the family business. I'll bet she could shimmy up the side of a house and not even need a ladder. Trisha's parents divorced in 1983, and her father moved to Maryland, the old line state, which is a nickname that doesn't exactly inspire me to want to visit. However, the official state dance of Maryland is the square dance, and nothing beats a good old-fashioned hoedown. Trisha graduated in 1985 and was carrying a little graduation present of her own. That's a not-so-subtle euphemism for her being pregnant. She went to live with her father in Maryland and became a single mother. It doesn't appear the baby's father was ever in the picture, and according to Trisha, he was abusive. I absolutely do not judge Trisha for being a teenage mother, especially not when there are so many other things to be judgy about. It seems as though her daughter is a well-adjusted, productive member of society and has good judgment. I don't think she got that last trait from Trisha, though. Trisha stayed in Maryland for the next several years, and I don't actually know what she was doing during this time, other than being a single mother, which is enough. But we can pretend she was working at the Piggly Wiggly. I don't know that Maryland has Piggly Wigglies, but they do for this story. So Trisha was working at the Piggly Wiggly as a cashier, but sometimes helped out in the meat department because Trisha can cut up an entire side of beef in 15 minutes flat. She loved her job at the Piggly Wiggly, mostly because the red apron she wore reminded her of the bullfights in the land of her non-heritage birth. One day, a man named Gary Diley walked into that Piggly Wiggly, and he decided on the spot that he wanted to transform Trisha from a señorita into a señora. So in May of 1993, Trisha and Gary were married in St. Mary's County, Maryland. That's a lot of Marys. They had a son in 1995, but did not name him Piggly nor Wiggly. So the part about her marrying Gary and then having a son is actually true. It is also sadly true that their son is not named Piggly nor Wiggly. Trisha and Gary decided they'd had enough of the land of crabs and square dancing, so they moved to Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, the land also of crabs. But those South Carolina dancing fools think square dancing is for squares, so they dance the shag. As an aside, until researching for this video, I was unaware that some states have official dances. It seems as though the majority of the 30-something states that do have adopted the square dance. So original. In 2004, Trisha was charged for breach of trust with fraudulent intent, which is embezzlement. She was sentenced to probation and ordered to pay over $5,000 restitution. Now, this is the only infraction on Trisha's record that I found. I haven't even found a parking ticket. She does not have a list of arrests and tickets like other people we know. For instance, just off the top of my head, the Millers. Maybe she's just so proficient at crime she doesn't get caught. Trisha filed for a divorce from Gary in 2005, but the divorce wasn't final until 2007. The reason it took so long was because South Carolina has odd divorce laws that dictate that if the divorce is uncontested, you have to live apart for a year before the divorce can be finalized. Just like Susie the side chick, Trisha the sidekick was the subject of a blog post on Solid Rock Church's website. And like Susie's post, once Micah's death started making the news, the church took down the blog post about Trisha too. And by the church, I mean Trisha. But once again, I found the archive version of the post because I'm nothing if not irritatingly determined. So in the post, Trisha is talking about meeting John Ross, the love of her life. Quote, Trisha says she then married her son's father. Her son is 27. They divorced and she met the love of her life, John, in 2004. I met him and immediately we were like soulmates. It was kind of weird. Both my kids loved him. End quote. Well, hold the phone. If we do some super quick and actually unnecessary math, we discover that Trisha and John met before she was divorced. Trisha, you saucy tart, you. You met the love of your life, but didn't file for divorce from your husband until the next year. How deliciously scandalous. Trisha and John started attending Solid Rock Church together in 2007. Well, I guess it's good she decided to wait until she was divorced before taking her soulmate to church. There might be a problem with that, though. Trisha's husband's full name was John Thomas Ross. We'll call him John number 1 to make things less confusing. There are Horry County court records with John number 1's full name, his date of birth, and the address where Trisha currently lives. So John number 1 is definitely her husband. There is also a John Thomas Ross number 2 in the Horry County court records for a divorce, but the records don't have a date of birth or an address listed to compare to John number 1. So John number 2 was divorcing a woman named Cynthia, and Cynthia is on John number 1's record as being a relative. Now, I've requested a copy of the divorce papers to verify, and I should be getting them soon. But my inner Nancy Drew is telling me that John number 1 and John number 2 are definitely the same John Thomas Ross. Now, you might be wondering why I'm so gosh darn heckin' obsessed with John Thomas Ross's divorce, and probably wondering how many more times I'm going to say John Thomas Ross. Well, the reason I'm so interested is because John Thomas Ross didn't file for his divorce from Cynthia until 2010, and his divorce wasn't final until March of 2011. Oh my. So John and Trisha were carrying on a torrid love affair while at least one of them was still married to someone else. Okay, maybe not torrid, Maybe a lukewarm, hand-holding only love affair, one in which they definitely left room for Jesus between them at all times. Now, I've heard that John Paul wouldn't let people serve in the church because they were living together and weren't married. But it's no problem for Trisha to take her still married man concubine to church. Someone go fetch me my clutch and pearls. Now, I'm beginning to wonder if anyone at Solid Rock Church actually waits to be divorced before starting their next relationship. John was diagnosed with cancer in 2007, so maybe he stayed married to his first wife for insurance purposes. Or maybe Trisha didn't know he was married. Or maybe she knew and didn't care. John and Trisha married in November of 2011. Sadly, John Ross lost his battle with cancer in 2016. The last few lines of his obituary read, John's celebration of life service will be held at 1 p.m. Saturday, July 9th at Solid Rock Ministries, led by Pastor John Paul Miller. Visitation with the family will be held immediately following the service in the church fellowship hall. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to Solid Rock Ministries, 803 Howard Avenue, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, how convenient for Solid Rock Ministries. I'd like to think this was a fund for Trisha, but I have my doubts. There was also a fund set up for Trisha at a bank, but it had the disclaimer that if someone wanted their donations to be tax deductible, they could send it to Solid Rock Church. Well, now I have double the doubts. I wonder if Trisha actually received everything that was donated. Do you think John Paul made her tithe out of the donations? I feel as though that would be a very John Paul thing to do. Now, I took a peek at Trisha's Facebook page, and when I say peek, I mean I scoured that sucker. And let me tell you that when I say that this woman's life is completely centered around Solid Rock Church, I am not exaggerating even a little. Of all the pictures she has posted, if they aren't of her family, they are of the church and church events. And there are definitely more church posts than family posts. I didn't see a single aspect of her life outside her family that wasn't church-centered. If the church was a person, Trisha would physically be up their backside so far, she could use their spleen as a pillow. I'm sorry, that was a little gross, but it was very descriptive. Trisha needs an intervention because she is deep in cult leader worship territory. This is not normal. If you want to be involved in your church, go for it. But when it consumes your life, it is not healthy. The church blog post about Trisha also touched on how much she was involved in the church. Quote, with only Mondays off, she considers Sundays at church a day off. Trisha's daily duties behind the scenes include coordinating the short groups each season, gathering the announcements and posting them on social media, helping with Faith First Academy, meeting with new members, training leaders, answering church emails, updating the website, coordinating pizza with the pastor, and as a recently anointed administrative pastor, serving at baptisms, funerals, and weddings. Most churches with more than 500 people in the congregation, like Solid Rock, have at least a half dozen full-time employees pulling off what Trisha does. But because of her superpower administrator skills,
Oh, my Lord.
Solid Rock is able to function at its high level of excellence
Oh, my
with only
Lord.
2 full-time employees, Trisha and Pastor John Paul.
That's mama.
End quote.
That's mama.
Well, isn't it just fantastic that John Paul is overworking Trisha so he doesn't have to pay anyone else? He's so frugal. And then he gives her the title of administrative pastor so he can shove more of his responsibilities onto her.
Yep.
And then showers her with praise to make her think that sacrificing her life and her sanity for the church is noble. What a swell boss. And now we come to the part of the narrative where we go on a little field trip into Trisha's mind, and we try to determine if she's just poor little Trisha who should be pitied, or if she's a little bit villainous Trisha who spends Friday nights plotting the demise of her enemies and fine-tuning her plan of global domination.
You see where I'm saying? Like, she's got to be the one. JP bases his decisions too much off of emotion. She's got to be the one that says, "You should do this, JP. You should do this. This is how you do
Recently,
this."
when Solid Rock Church posted about Superhero Sunday, some people
I
mocked
don't
it.
want to,
Now, I
Mama.
don't know that they knew that Superhero Sunday originated with John's death and that his nickname at the church was Superman. Trisha was understandably defensive because it's something that's important to her. So she wrote a Facebook post about it that included the following. My husband and my life was the church, and it kept him strong while he fought cancer. And for those insinuating that my husband has a suspicious death, I would love for you to read the daily journal we kept of his fight with cancer. He was diagnosed at 35 years old with colon cancer, stage 3C, and died at 45. No, Pastor JP did not have anything to do with his death, and as a matter of fact, he was with him through the entire journey, even coming to a hospital setting when they expected him to die in the first coma after aspirating into both lungs during a surgery to put a stent in his colon. Well, John Paul cared so much, he visited John once at the hospital during the 9 years that John had cancer. Well, that is some dedication to his calling, isn't it? And Trisha thinks that this shows that he cares. That bar is so low, a worm couldn't trip on it. And Trisha continues, so you want to hate me, go right ahead, but I draw the line when you speak against anything to do with my husband. That is not okay. The hardest thing for me to say right now is I pray for all of you. I don't pray anything bad, but I truly pray from the heart. Oh, Trisha, just go ahead and admit that you're praying for bad stuff. Because why else would you have felt the need to deny that you were doing it before you were even accused of it? So what level of bad are we talking about, though? On a scale with 1 being uncontrollable itching of our nether regions and 10 being having to listen to John Paul's high-pitched whine 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where are we? I feel like anything more than a 4 or 5 will warrant you and I needing to have a little chat. Trisha concluded her admonishment with, I had a church family go to the ICU at Grand Strand Hospital, all with their Superman shirts on praying for him. They camped out at the hospital to make sure we were fed every day. Another one of our pastors stayed the night at hospital with me. So say what you want. Everyone that had attended Solid Rock had been my family since 2007. The thing is, we really loved each other, and that's next to impossible to find. I have noticed that when Trisha speaks about her husband, she repeats the same things, that John was her soulmate, that he fought cancer, the church nicknamed him Superman, the church was supportive, he received his degree, and then she got hers. It's as though she is stuck in 2016, and that loop keeps playing over and over and over. I think Trisha needs grief counseling. I think the church is her entire life because she was happy with John while they were serving at the church. I think that to her, the church is a connection to him. So in her mind, as long as she can hang on to the church, she can hang on to John. But at what cost? I think Trisha's obsession with the church has led her down a path that is more than likely going to end somewhere she doesn't want to be. So what are some other possibilities as to why Trisha remains loyal to John Paul? One is that she's in love with him, and that is one wholly unpleasant thought. Holy as in all-encompassing, not holy as in amen. Maybe she admires him for reasons that are far beyond my scope of understanding, and she has a deep-seated need for his approval. Has there been something missing from her life that he provides? The only thing I can think of that a person could be missing in order for them to need John Paul is a portion of their brain. Now, I suspect that Trisha has been involved in some financial dealings at the church that she knows aren't exactly legal or even ethical. Well, maybe she didn't realize it at first, but I find it hard to believe that she hasn't caught on by now. John Paul might be the one instructing her to write the checks, but she needs to remember that it's her signature on them. And if she doesn't think he'll lie and say that he had no idea she was writing these checks, she is in for a rude awakening. Now, Trisha's been with the church for 15 years. She knows things, and I think she's an information gatherer. I think she learns things about people and runs and tells John Paul, and he pats her on the head and tells her what a good job she's doing. Maybe John Paul is holding something over her well-padded head. Maybe he knows her dirty little secret. But it would have to be something stonking horrific to be worse than staying loyal to John Paul.
He ain't that smart. He bases his decisions off of emotion too much. I don't want to do it, Mama. Damn straight. JP, listen. I know you don't want to eat your peas, but you got to eat your peas. You got to do it this way, JP. I know you don't want to, but you got to. When you saw him at the protest clenching his fist. Because he didn't get his way. You see what happens when he don't get his way. He spazzes. Damn straight she's an information gatherer. That's why she's in the position that she is in. That's why she's part of the inner team, the 1 of 4. There's 2 people. I don't even have to know his childhood. I bet you there's 2 people that took care of JP, like Mommy and Poppy. Daddy was there for money, influence. Charles and Trisha. It's that happy family. She knows way too much, y'all. Now, if you want to watch the rest of this video, here is... screw it. Let's watch the rest. Here's the link.
Trisha pretends that she isn't bothered about most things and that she's above it all. But I think underneath that facade, she is very angry with recent events.
Go show some love.
Recently, Trisha had an overnight stay in the hospital that she said was due to stress. But there are rumors that it was actually because she had purposely stopped taking her insulin and blood pressure medicine for 3 days. And she had to stay overnight to stabilize her blood sugar.
Yeah, because you know why? You know damn well there's a whole bunch of people talking to the investigators. Oh my gosh, I can't handle the pressure. I've never had pressure like this before. Mama. I'm sorry, JP. I can't do it.
I would venture to say that if this is the case, it was only done to garner sympathy. Regardless of what she was there for, though, did John Paul go to visit her?
No. We need to say a prayer for Trisha because I'm going to be honest with you. Look. Because this could be the situation. This could literally be the situation. And we do need to say a prayer for Trisha. Or cross your fingers or whatever you practice. All right? Energy vibe. Whatever you practice. Positive energy sent to Trisha. Because she could be, and this is a real fact, she could be... Why would she do this? No, listen, just check this out, though. Just give me a few moments. Why would somebody that is that strong in belief and connection and all of this do these things to her body, right? Like, why would she seriously, where she is, why would she do these things to her body? Because maybe and this is real, maybe because the pressure is getting to be too much and she knows maybe that's a way out, right? So if this is what it truly came from, let's hope that she doesn't lead herself down a path that becomes that, okay? So send the positive energy to Trisha. If it's a situation where you're backed in a corner and you can't take the pressure, you're getting calls and interviews and stuff and you're freaking out, look. Positive energy. Please don't ever, any soul, please don't go down that path.
I'm going to guess no, And that should tell Trisha everything she needs to know about what he really thinks of her. The most unsettling thing I found that makes
Oh,
me
I
weigh
think
the
she's gonna
possibility of
snitch.
Trisha being villainous.
I think if she gets brought in, brought in, you already know she's been questioned, and we don't have to talk to content creators to figure that out. We already know she's been questioned. So it's when they bring her in, and then she goes blah, 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 speaking in tongues, right? Speaking in tongues.
Is the news video of her talking about Micah's death. For the clip only being 13 seconds, I think it says a lot. I'll play it first with the sound off, and I want you to watch it and see what it looks like she's talking about.
Uh-oh. It's not. Oh, we heard this one.
If I didn't already know what she was talking about,
It was
I'd
muted.
swear she was talking about something that made her happy. She's smiling. She looks happy. If I had to choose background music for what was happening on her face, I would pick a polka over a funeral dirge. Now here's the video with the sound off.
South Africa this time. I'm sorry. She just fell in love. That was her heart. She'd do anything for anybody.
Now her facial expressions do not match her words. So either she was happy that Micah had died, or she's one of those people who laugh when they're nervous. I don't know her well enough to say for sure, but when she realized she was smiling, she had to stop and do the fake, no, really, I'm super upset and sad. Let me suck in a bunch of air through my teeth and try to quiver my bottom lip, but do it so badly that for a nanosecond, it looks like my face is stuck in one of those bathroom hand dryers that are so powerful you feel like they're going to blow the skin right off the back of your hands. Then you'll know how terribly upset I am, and you'll think I'm distraught. Did you catch that I'm sad? Because I'm super sad. I'm sad.
What's up?
Then in the middle of her act, she apologized. But was she apologizing for smiling or for her horrible acting job? And then she goes right back to smiling.
It was bad.
And when she is saying affirmative things about Micah doing anything for anybody, she is slightly shaking her head no as she speaks. Her body language is very interesting in this video. Now, Trisha has said that she loved Micah, but I'm not convinced. She also said that she and Micah were close, and I think that's a complete lie. Of all the very many photos that Trisha has on Facebook,
you know damn well JP ran to her. I wanted her to eat Fruity Pebbles, and she went with cornflakes, Trisha.
There isn't a single one of her and Micah together.
Right?
So is Trisha pitiful, or is she a villain?
I wanted her to
I think
eat
she's just her
Fruity
own little
Pebbles.
cuckoo cocktail of both. A Trisha Rita. 3 parts misguided loyalty, 1 part unrequited love,
funny.
another part villainy, 1 part wanting to belong, 1 part hostility, 1 part needing to be needed, 1 part resentment. This cocktail has so many parts.
That's funny.
Give it a stir and serve it in a glass that is rimmed with the salt from the tears of Trisha's enemies. I do feel sorry for Trisha to a point. I think that John Paul probably took advantage of her at a time when she was very vulnerable.
No.
I think he zeroed in on that vulnerability and manipulated her to the point that, for whatever unfathomable reason, she is more loyal to him than she is anyone else. But she is choosing him over her own family, and I will never understand that.
I don't know. I come from the speculation tree that she wanted to not only have attention. This is where I'm coming from. I feel I'm on this tree where I want to know what her and Wayne, I want to know if there was a connection there, number one. I feel like she wanted that role. I don't know if I feel like he manipulated her. I feel like she wanted that role. Like, I feel, because when we're out at these protests, from the first one, the way she was acting towards me, I'm sitting there recording. I got my tripod out, and she's coming out, and I'm waving at her, and she waves back. And then she comes out with the camera and she starts recording us like this. And I'm like, hey. And she don't want to wave that time, but she's out there recording, mocking, thumbs up, all sorts of, like, when it came to anybody from this congregation, she was the first one that was throwing that negative yuck out there. Okay. I'm glad I'm able to be there because I wouldn't have, excuse me, I wouldn't have experienced it if I wasn't. And experiencing that kind of soul, right? Before any of the other congregations started getting strong, she was the first one. I don't necessarily feel that JP manipulated her into becoming. I feel like she was already that kind of person and wanted that role. That's the tree that I'm on. Oh, Priscilla, I can imagine. I mean, it's bad, right? It's bad.
Neither of her children are talking to her anymore because of the way she's sticking with and defending John Paul.
Because she wants
Trisha has
this.
grandbabies.
She wants
and I cannot for the life of me
Think about this, people. Think about how well known she is in the damn congregation. How many people do you think come up to her and go, Trisha, thank you so much for everything that you do? How many people do you think she's sitting there going, I called Micah ma'am because her authority was above me? How many people do you think she says, you need to call me ma'am because my authority is above you? All the people that she has saying, Trisha, 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 Trisha. What's up, Faith? Trisha, Trisha. All the people screaming, Trisha. You're so awesome, Trisha. Trisha, you're so amazing. That is the money and fame that corrupts the souls that were already corrupt before the money and the fame came. That's why they say the more money that somebody has, the more you see who they really are. Look at me. I'm sitting there doing all these drives, just trying to save money from living comfortable at a hotel. I'll just be uncomfortable and drive this many hours, right? I could easily take those funds and, you know what? Oh, I'm so tired. I was out here all day. Let me spend this on a night. Let me spend $200 or $300 on a hotel because I'm tired. When instead I just spend another 40 on gas, 60 on gas, and then deal with the lack of sleep and all that shit. Some people, they're gonna fucking stay at the finest hotel and go out to eat at the fanciest restaurant. That's what I'm saying. The more money somebody has, the more you see what their true character is. You know, me helping out the community in all these different ways. There's a difference. Yeah, I know, detective. YouTube is acting so buggy today. It froze my chat as soon as I was in the intro, it was doing it. So if you guys notice anything weird like chat's freezing, your comments aren't showing up, whatever, just back out, close out, come back in. That's the only thing that'll fix it. It's been doing it to me too. So who knows? It's been like what, a year now? everybody, a year now that this shit's been happening. You think, when you hit the like, it flashes all different colors, and when you hit the sub button, it flashes all different colors, but we can't get YouTube chat to work properly for a year, so right on. That's customer service.
Understand how she can turn her back on them, especially to choose Monkey Boy of all people. Even setting aside his misdeeds, between his obnoxious personality and his screechy banshee voice, I can't imagine even being able to be around him in the first place. But to choose John Paul Miller over your children and grandchildren? To quote the title of his poorly written book, that's a big hell no. Then again, if someone asked me to choose between hanging out with a reanimated Ted Bundy...
Hold on, is this for real? Everything you want to know about heaven, including how to be 100% sure that you'll live there. Hell no. This is an actual book. Well, we were going to read Howard Bloom's book, and I couldn't because there was just so much misinformation being spread from that book. That's why I quit reading it. I don't even remember how far we got into Howard Bloom's book. I left it up there. I was like, people need to see that I didn't even take the video down. I'm like, people need to see that I started to read it, and I'm sorry, I can't be part of content that's creating a whole bunch of misfucking information about somebody and their dad and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? That Howard Bloom book. Crazy. And look at how many people are out there, the clicks and views that are out there reading that book right now. You know what I'm saying? There's people out, like we were going to do it damn near right away, and it even took us a couple days extra because I had to drive back here to do it. But go watch the video. It was alive from like a week ago. I start to read it. It's like, what the hell? I start talking about what we've already read, listened to. And it's like, I can't do this. There's so much misinformation. I don't know why people are reading it like that. Watch my video. You'll see where I'm coming from. Seriously, listen to the words, hear the facts, see where I'm coming from, and then you'll understand. But with this has got to be like, and he's saying it's nonfiction too. Isn't that crazy? Howard Bloom saying it's nonfiction. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, Patricia, does it have stuff about the FBI in there too? I'll have to check this out. Hell no. Man, everybody's writing a damn book. I really feel like I need to write a book about how Idaho Ford made me get into the profession that I'm in, because honestly, I would have been talking about sports and moon landings and car chases. And all of a sudden I'm out here being an advocate for justice and truth and peace, and going out on location and boots on the ground and doing all these different things. It's stuff that I never even would have ever thought that I was ever going to do, to be honest with you. Instead of some fiction like this right here. I'll have to check it out though. Hell no. I wonder how much the book is. Maybe it's like $12. Maybe one night we'll sit back and listen to it. I'll get like the audio version, and we'll sit back and listen to it. We should. Well, if we get a t-shirt going, it's going to be this guy right here. The hot dog steak. But I got to be focused on right now. All I can do is be focused. The funds, I can just focus on the trips and the protest and being there for that. If we get an opportunity later on down the road, we'll go ahead and and do that, because it's not like you have to get like the overstock and stuff like that. So um it's not like there's no credit card, you know what I mean?
Or with John Paul Miller, I'd ask a
Whoa!
zombie Ted if he wanted to go to the movie first or have
Whoa!
dinner first.
Who is it?
When the FBI interviews Trisha,
Oh
do
my
you
God.
think she'll just melt into a pile of snot and tears and immediately spill her guts? Or will she try to lie for John Paul? Or perhaps she'll think she's telling the truth, but will actually be lying because she believes everything that John Paul says, even though the majority of what comes out of his whiny little cake hole is just a bunch of big fat lies. So what do you all think? Is Trisha a nefarious ne'er-do-well? Is she in love with John Paul? Is she hoping he'll whisk her away to a tropical island where they can sip Trisharitas and laugh over the millions they've plundered from the church?
No.
Or has she chosen to fill an empty place in her heart with a man and a church that are only going to bring her more heartache? I hope she realizes soon that John Paul will throw her under the bus so fast that she won't even feel him push her. Sadly, he's probably already set her up to take the fall. To my knowledge, Trisha is not being investigated for any crime or is a person of interest in any investigation.
Yeah, because
Except for the FBI probably wanting to have a little chin wag.
there we go. There we go.
She is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, let's finish that part too, right? Because you know what I mean? Like, it's bad. It's bad. Oh, that was a great video. All right, now I wanted to do this as a little surprise. So all of y'all that are in here right now, we're going to do this. All right. Let's see here. I wanted to do this as a surprise. So do me a favor and if you would like to win this decal, the person that won it a few nights ago didn't claim it, so we were going to give this away last night. This is last night's show that was transitioned to this morning, just so, for the festivities and stuff. So anybody that does want to, go ahead and hashtag justice for Micah, just like it's shown on screen. Hashtag it as many times as you want. And so any of you all that are in the show right now can actually go ahead and try and get it. And what we're going to do is I'm only going to leave it up for 5 more minutes. All right. That's it. That's it. Just as a special treat for y'all for still hanging out 3 hours and 20 minutes into the show as we're getting ready to close it out. I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Speaking of all this FBI stuff, right? This is why I was saying what I was saying in the beginning and throughout the show when it comes to the FBI. How it's obvious what the FBI is investigating. How it's obvious how bad it can be. When you read the court documents that from the family about the stuff Micah expressed to them, the stuff she was afraid of, make sure you hashtag it. Make sure it looks just like it does on screen in order for you to enter. We got 4 minutes left. Make sure you enter it just like it is on the screen, otherwise it won't work. Just like Michael did, just like Pam did, just like Mythical did. Make sure you type it just like that, otherwise you won't be able to, it won't work. Your entry won't work. It's why I even said about the flash drive. It's obvious. So when you watch, I'm not going to play the first one. I'm just going to share the links for you guys. I always encourage everybody. What's up, Tracy sneaking in? I always encourage everybody to have a playlist for the show. because I'll drop a whole bunch of links for you. That way you can save them, check them out later. I'm going to be sharing a couple links with you, and these were links from just a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks after the passing. And if it made it to Court TV, you know that it already was taking place already. Okay? Let's just be honest. So who says it wasn't directly after, a few days after the crime? I mean, think about it. When it reaches national media, it means that it's already been taken place. All right? This was May 15th when this came out. Just a few short weeks. And then you know, if they got it, it was way before that. Then there's another video that's a couple weeks later. Talks about more friends working with investigators. It's not a surprise. Please be careful of the smoke that gets blown around from some people, because just like Trisha, some people here on YouTube do the same thing. They inflate. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Hashtag it as much as you want. You know YouTube, it can be buggy as hell. So you can hashtag it as many times as you want. I only see 18 entries in there. I only see 18 of them. I don't either, Tracy. And then I'll open up the phone line if anybody wants to call before we end the show. I'll open up the phone line here in a few. I meant to open them up earlier. We just had so much stuff to get through. I want to always make sure we get through that first, and then we can always open it up at the end. And we will be having some live call shows coming up here on the trip. Excuse me. All right, we got 1 minute. And I see 19. 18 still. That's it. I will be getting 5 more. I'm not sure if there will be more available this weekend or maybe next. We'll see. If not, if I have to get them through the mail, I'll pay the shipping to get them in the mail to make sure, because I think this is the best way to bring awareness as well, with the ability of a back window in traffic. All right. 15 seconds. All right, and I'm going to hit it right at the time. We got 19 entries, and we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So the winner of the decal, and please email evilcj@gmail.com, and we will get it sent out to you Monday. I'll be sending the mythical. I'll be sending the bracelets. I'll be sending the bracelets on Monday. After the protest, the next day I'll be sending out the bracelets, and then also I will send this out as well. So these will all be going out on Monday. So I'll be doing that Monday morning. I won't be live. There's a lot of other stuff I got to send out too. And so we'll be getting that stuff sent out Monday morning. I might do like a special live, just a pop-up or something, but we're not going to have anything scheduled for Monday morning. Tuesday, yes. Congratulations, Mythical. Appreciate you very much. All right, I'm going to share these links with you guys real quick. So this is the episode. All right. May 15th, 2024. Feds now assisting investigation. Can you see it? May 15th, 2024. There's the link. Feds now assisting in investigation. So when I say When it reaches national media, you already know what's been going on, okay? Now here's another video.
This morning, we're spotlighting the mysterious death of a pastor.
Now, this one was from May 27th, 2024. And this talks about Micah Miller's friends working with investigators. Here, my face is covering it up. There we go. Right? It's not a surprise. It hasn't been a surprise. Yes, well-deserved, Mythical. Thank you for all your support. This has not been a surprise. This has never been a surprise. We've all known the stuff they're investigating. Now, when it comes to information, we all get stuff sent to us. The same people, this is what everybody has to understand. The same people that send people information are the same people that send that information to everybody else. Some of the emails you get with stuff will have so many other people tagged in it. It's crazy. Some will just be single email source. This is what I'm saying. We could all do the oohs and ahs, but it's not about that. We need to respect Micah. We need to respect the victims. We need to respect the families. We need to respect the communities. We need to respect justice. We need to respect the investigators. We need to respect everything that is about doing it the right way. If you want to be the best McDonald's hamburger maker, hey guys, I could put pickles on a hamburger. Then go. You know what I mean? What's up, Justice A to Z? Appreciate that. Thank you. Love saves lives. Yes, it does. So we've all known that the FBI, we all know how bad it is. We've read the court documents. We've seen the stuff that's been written. We get information just like everybody else. The same people that's sending it to them are sending it to, the theatrics of YouTube sometime. I don't understand it. I could never go that route. I could never go that route. So I had to share those because it's not a freaking surprise. It's been out for a long time. It's been out for a long time. All right. I'll open up the phone line here if anybody does want to call in the meantime before we end the show. I'm going to play this one because this is the last one from May 27th. And then, there's other interviews with other friends talking about the same stuff too. This is, and if it's out in the national media, just like May 15th when they said, hey, the investigators are, you already know it was already taking place. That's why I feel Micah Miller had a flash drive. She had the flash drive, put stuff on it, gave it to somebody she trusted the most. If something happens to me, let this thing go, right? If something happens to me, let it go. Go talk to these people, show them the proof. And then the reason why I think, and we'll get into the fisherman stuff in the next show, the reason why I think the fisherman knew exactly everything that was in her purse and where it was located, all of the items, Why he had to take the purse off the property to look through it. You couldn't just look through it in your boat. You couldn't look through it in your truck. You had to take it off the property to go look through it because they were looking for a flash drive. Why do you think Randall went to Kenya? To learn what Micah knew. Speculation. When you read what the family wrote of what Micah was expressing to them, Micah knew the position she was in. That's why I say the only reason somebody's gonna go out there and put themselves in that position that could be possible is because somebody probably said, hey, if you meet so-and-so, here's the papers. Let's sign them. The divorce papers, right? That's the only reason why you could lure somebody to an area. Come on. I'll sign the divorce papers if you meet me. Right? Somebody had a flash drive. Somebody went to the investigators with that flash drive. Speculation. It may not have everything from the last moment, but you know, here, I'm going to give you this flash drive, and then the next time I see you, I'm going to upload a newer version of it, and I'm just going to keep swapping these flash drives that way. I always have one, you always have one, and anytime we meet, I'm going to give you the most updated one, right? Oh, trust me, we're going to get into the fisherman stuff. The 411, I'd love to have her on the show. There she is right there. If you'd like to come up on panel with me when I go into it as well, Rosie too, if you'd like to hop up with us, I would love to have you on panel with us when we do that. Just reach out to me, evilcj@gmail.com. Email me and we can set something up if you're available. Just let me know. I'd love to have you on for the fisherman stuff. Because I am going to use one of your videos for it. And thank you for the Chris Skinner 911 call as well. Shout out to you. That's why I feel like there's a hard drive. It's going to have so much stuff on it. We already know. When you're talking about financials, you see all the stuff that's been reported, who's got in trouble for what, right? All the backgrounds and stuff. To think that it's on the up and up, give me a break. It ain't on the up and up. You're out of your mind. You already know who's going to be chatting. I mean, hell, we just watched Agatha May. We're not at the water cooler. What's up, Natalia? We're not at the water cooler. But you know what? It's pretty obvious who in the hell's getting chatted up with. Papa Charles and Mama Tricia is what it is.
Wife. There's a hearing set for next month to decide who is entitled to items that law enforcement seized while looking into beautiful Micah Miller's death. Investigators have not accused her widower, John Paul Miller, of any wrongdoing, so I want to make that clear. We will say, though, that the FBI has put out there that they are conducting a parallel investigation in the case, but not investigating Miller's death. Now, Court TV has contacted John Paul Miller's new attorney for comment, but we have not yet heard back. This morning on the show, we have two very special guests we want to bring on to talk about Micah, two people that know Micah very well when she was alive and who are certainly grieving and interested in any.
I thought it was hilarious. I've had my own, like I said, I had my own interactions with her, and I got to experience her damn soul. She, like I said, she was the one spewing out the ugly in the first place before the other congregation members were doing it.
Any information that can come from this investigation now that she's gone. I want to welcome them in now. Alicia Young and Kyler Marlowe, welcome to the program. I just want to start.
Now, Kyler's not, right? But this is what Working with investigator. The last video, May 15th, working with FBI. Like, FBI looking in. It's not a surprise. I wanted to share those with you guys. Now, I don't know why she backed out. She backed out recently. She made a statement and put it on social media backing out. Not sure why. But it's been all love on this side from that side, you know, that maybe she might have had an issue with or something. So I don't know what would have made her, but you know, when it comes to the statement, it is what it is. All right, hold on. I wanted to share these videos here. I thought these were kind of neat. These are little videos that show navigating through the Lumber River State Park. Check these out.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Today we're at Lumber River State Park and we're going to navigate some wild black water. Let's go. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Sean. All right, let's get you a life vest to keep you safe. All right. Wow, this is a really big canoe. Our big canoes hold 14 passengers and they're a great way to explore our waterways. People have been paddling these black waters for over 5,000 years. Cool, let's paddle. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Why do I feel like the music is like a circus? Uh-oh, what happened? So this is them navigating the Lumber River State Park. It's their own video.
5,000 years, that's a long time. How do we know that? Well, in modern time, archaeologists have found dozens of American Indian dugout canoes sunken in our state lakes and rivers. Some are over 5,000 years old. Each dugout was made from a single tree, like a cypress tree, and it's taken down with fire, then carved out by letting hot coals burn on top and scraping them out with some hand tools. Wow, was this river important to American Indians? Indigenous people likely paddled this river for thousands of years and had villages along the river, and American Indians still use this river today. The Lumbee tribe has more than 50,000 members today, and Lumbee people refer to this as the Lumbee River. An early North Carolina town along the Lumber River was Princess Anne. It was established more than 220 years ago, in 1796, right here on the bluffs of Lumber River State Park. There were few roads, and it was difficult to travel around the swamp forest, so the river was the main way of transportation. It was important to be up on a bluff because flooding made the river dangerous. In fact, back then, the river was called Drowning Creek. The name changed to lumber when the swamp forest was logged for its valuable lumber. Most of the early towns in the area were along the river, but that changed when new technology brought the railroad to Robeson County. The town of Princess Anne was abandoned in the 1800s. Logging companies built canals.
The town of Princess Anne was abandoned? Wow, this is crazy.
Along the river to float huge logs down to lumber mills. In the 1800s, new towns grew along the railroad to move lumber and other goods. The Lumber River became less important for transportation. As roads developed in the early 1900s, the river became more of a transportation obstacle as the state had to build expensive bridges to connect people and businesses. It seems like so much has changed over the years. I'm wondering how this became a state park. A citizens movement started in the 1970s where a group of people who really cared for the river convinced their elected officials to make this North Carolina's first recreational paddle trail. Later in 1989, Lumber River became a state park so that new lands along the 115-mile river can be protected for the common good. Our state parks are for everyone to enjoy, all ages, all ethnicities, all ability levels. They're safe and welcoming places we can all come together to share our natural wonders. Lumber River is a special place. I'm wondering what I can do to help. When we keep trash in its place, we help take care of our lands and our waterways. In fact, I think I see some litter floating down the river there. You want to go paddle over and get it? Yeah, of course. Let's clean that up. Oh, no. Oh, no. You got it. You got it. All right. Let's keep that from floating downstream. Everyone can take responsibility for our environment. Look at maps of where you live. Where does the stormwater drain from your roof? Follow it down into creeks or streams and eventually into a major river. When we keep trash in its place and take care of our land, we're keeping our waterways clean, like the Lumber River.
Here's another one.
Lumber River State Park is in the southern part of North Carolina. The southern end of this park is not too far away from South Carolina, but the park itself and the Lumber River stretches 50 miles between the northernmost access point and the southernmost access point. In between, obviously not the whole riverbank is a state park, but it is 50 miles apart, so the two access points are quite far. In the Princess Anne access, which is on the southern end, there is a nice picnic area, a couple of short trails that are actually very nice, and a boat launch, and you can see the river pretty nicely from that particular access point. On the northern side, you have the Chalk Bank access point, and in both places they have campsites and boat launch on this side as well, and a couple of trails, which are really nothing to write home about. In between the two locations, though, there are a bunch of canoe-in campsites. So to really enjoy this park, you really have to have your canoe or boat or something that you can run on the river. Maybe go camping at one of those canoeing campsites. And that's the way to enjoy this park. We don't have a boat, and it doesn't appear that there is a place near here that you can rent one. So we did not go on the river. Instead, we took these hiking trails. Heading down towards the river at the Princess Anne access area, right on the Lumber River. That river looks very nice. Doesn't look dirty at all. You got a couple of folks here launching their boat and pulling it back up, fishing. Here's a nice platform that they built so that we can take a look at the scenic point. It's called Griffin's Whirl. And I think this is where the river flows backwards. Let's check it out. Sure enough, you see the river flowing that way? That's a normal flow of the river that goes downstream. But if you turn around and look up here, there's a little bit of a disturbance here. And the river actually flows
back up
uphill here for a little bit. Well, the other direction anyway. This is called Griffin's Whirl. You know what this scenery and the river reminds me of? Jungle Cruise. Of course, the trees are all wrong, but I'm just half expecting the Jungle Cruise boat to come around the bend at any moment now.
What?
The water looks dark, but it looks fairly clear. You see that little whirl right there? You can sort of see it. Mm-hmm. In many places in this part of the park, there are these beautiful benches that are overlooking the river at various places. And this is an example of one of them. And just kind of sit here and relax and enjoy. And there must have been a mill here at one point, because it's called the Mill Hole Trail, and there's an exhibit of a couple of millstones here. Notice the moss here on the trail, on top of some sandy soil. So the moss must indicate that this is a pretty wet spot, normally.
It is so mucky and just, as soon as you walk in there. And we got all of that video. Trust me, one of these, we're going to have a 4 or 5 hour show, just me and the members, and we're just going to go through for all of my footage and photography from beginning to end. Y'all can even help me organize a little bit if you want while we're doing it. That way you guys can see it all, and then I might not even upload some of it, but I'm going through all of it. So we're going to be doing that coming up too. Maybe Saturday. We'll see. I want to say thank you all for hanging out today. Appreciate you very much. Let's share these as we close out the show. Thank you for your peaceful, positive, progressive attitude and approach, and your addition to the atmosphere that we like to try and create for everybody here in the community. I'm going to be heading out here some point, either this evening or tomorrow sometime, so I won't be live tonight. I might end up being live in the middle of the night. We'll see. I don't know. I'll be live at some point, and then we got some more work to do when we get there. So I want to say thank you all. I appreciate your support. End it on this photo right here. And say a special prayer, because there's, with what went on this last weekend, JP, You got to take the proper precautions because your man fucked up. Appreciate y'all. Justice for Micah. Peace, one positive evening, and we will see you on the next show.
Can you let a supervisor know that I have a case report with an arrest attached?